What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of the FlagPlus Football First and Goal podcast. I'm your host, Brent Bodkin.
And I'm Quaysie Maule.
So this is it. The road show is here. Finals weekend in FPF, the most exciting weekend in FPF, taking place this Saturday and Sunday in Bressard at Complex CN. The action kicks off at 11:40 on Saturday, and of course, the same thing will happen for Sunday as well. We have a bunch of games lined up for you. Exciting games lined up, obviously, again for championship weekend. I'm super excited. We have 9 games on the Saturday, and I'm looking at the Sunday schedule as well. We also have, I believe, 9 games on the Sunday. So, you got it all up. 18 games, right? Quick math there. 9 plus 9 is 18. Last time I checked. I don't think I'm wrong. Anyways, 18 games of excitement for finals weekend here in FPF. Like I said, best time of the year. Let's hop into it.
Yeah, it's gonna be again like we always talk about it. we always talk about how we're always excited to see who's gonna make the finals, and we're finally here. So it's gonna be interesting to see. And let's get into it.
All right, so kicking things off on a Saturday again, 11:40 a.m. So if you think the game's at 12, no, it's not. It's at 11:40. So if you're playing in the game or you want to watch the game, of course, don't forget. Obviously, you can see everything on YouTube, on the Facebook channel. You can watch it live. It'll be streamed live for you, so make sure to check it out. But if you're playing, try to get there for like 11 o'clock if you can, 11:15, because again, the opening starts I was going to say kickoff, but obviously there's no kickoff, but the game starts at 11:40, so make sure you're there. It features Division E2, so one of the divisions that I write for. It's the number 4 seed, the Flag Makers, 7-3 regular season, taking on the number 1 seed, 9-1 in the regular season. Of course, I'm talking about the Trailer Park Boys. Now, before we get into this matchup, there's a little bit of controversy surrounding this matchup and involving the Trailer Park Boys. So let's go back to the playoffs. Obviously, we had the semifinals in pretty much almost every single division this past week. Trailer Park Boys took on the Stables. So a marquee matchup, right? Against semifinals. Stables finished in 6th, the 6th seed with a 6-4 record. The Stables beat the Trailer Park Boys. Now, the Stables, if you've been paying attention to the podcast, right, they've had some injuries the last few weeks. So some of their players, like Devin Kreutzer, a couple of the guys, weren't able to play due to the injury. Some guys were able to come back, though, this week against the Trailer Park Boys. Long story short, they had one too many guys who didn't have clearance to play. So from what I'm being told from FPF management is there's 3 players that played in the game. 2 of them were cleared to play. They had doctor's notes explaining their absence to the injury. There was a 3rd player who apparently was not able to play, or wasn't legally, I guess you could say, able to play, and he ended up playing. So the Stables ended up getting the victory in that game, but the outcome, the result was overturned. So the Trailer Park Boys, who again have 0 losses on the season, they went from losing to now winning this game via forfeit, so hence why now they're in the finals taking on the Flag Dealers.
Which is kind of crazy to think about it. Plus, that game was pretty interesting, right? Between the Trailer Park Boys and the Stablers. It came down to a 1-point convert that was scored at the end of the game. So pretty much Stables drove down the field. They scored the touchdown. They went for a 1-point convert and they got it. So I mean that game did come down to pretty much the last play, where we could have saw overtime, which would have been pretty interesting to see. But the Stables ended up getting the win, and then after everything that kind of came out, they ended up forfeiting. So it gave Trailer Park Boys a chance to kind of win a championship.
Yeah, so again, we explain what happened. So again, an unfortunate turn of events for the Stables, but again, Trailer Park Boys getting the 9th life, I guess you could say, if you will. So number 1 defense with the Trailer Park Boys taking on the quarterback of the year. Of course, I'm talking about Roy Khalil of the Flag Dealers, veteran quarterback. We talked about him throughout the season. Again, said throughout the last couple of seasons as well, right? A guy who really struggled with accuracy and just timing. Has really evolved and really changed his game for the better and for the better of his team, helping his team reach the finals. Couple big playmakers on both sides. Jean-Sebastien Arnaud, big time receiver for this team, plays some defense as well. Mark Haddad, number 1 receiver for this Flag Dealer squad. Both teams, the Mernier brothers, right? There's quarterback and 2 receivers for Trailer Park Boys. Theo Midori as well. Some big time players on both sides. A lot of speed, a lot of athleticism, and a lot of talent in this Division E2 game. What do you think this game, Quaysie, will come down to?
I think it's going to come down to who's going to make the first mistake. I think both of these teams kind of proved why they should be here. Even the fact that Trailer Park Boys did lose. I mean, you guys won 9-1. You guys didn't lose a game this season for a reason. So I mean, I believe they should still be there. And then flag dealers. I mean, we started talking about flag dealers from I think 2 years ago where they kind of struggled. Their quarterback he had it. He had his ups, he had his downs, but finally they kind of figured it out. They finished their season 7-3, which is pretty good for them. And then now they're making themselves the first time making it to a road show. But I think again, I kind of want to say it's good. I think it's also going to be experience as well too, right? So I think it's going to be the first mistake, and then I think it's also going to be a a reason like who's going to make the first like is that who's going to make the first mistake, and I also think it's going to be experience. Trailer Park Boys, I feel like again, I talked about this I think last week and the week before that. They've, I don't know if they ever been, I think they've won, I think they won a couple of championships. I should have checked that. But I think they're more the veteran team compared to the flag dealers. So I think flag dealers are going to have more jitters. You know, the cameras on you. The atmosphere is a bit different. It's not like a regular FPF game where you're kind of just showing up and you're like, okay, well, like here it is. You know, like you actually have people watching you, people are talking about you, cameras looking at you, looking at plays. And I think like Trailer Park Boys are going to be just. I think they're able to be. I think they're going to be able to adapt more faster than flag vendors. Flag dealers, and then there's gonna there's a team called flag vendors too. Flag dealers. I think they're gonna be able to adapt a bit faster. I think that's gonna give them a bigger edge to win this game.
Okay, I will say these two teams did meet in the regular season. Back in week three, Trailer Park Boys getting the win, 42-34. In that contest, looking at the stats quickly here, so Roy Khalil, 5 TD passes, 2 INTs in the game, and Antoine Meunier went actually pretty solid, 12 of 16, 175 yards, 4 touchdowns in that game. They were helped out, so they had Will Richard lined up with this team in that game. I don't believe, I'm just double checking now, Richard, in terms of being a member of the squad. I believe he was a sub. Yeah, he was a sub for that game. So
Mm-hmm.
again, he had a big afternoon. Like I said, 5 catches, 74 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He won't be in the lineup, obviously, for the Trailer Park Boys, unless by some way he was medically cleared. But I don't think that's going to happen. Switching sides, obviously. So again, I talked about Mark Haddad, right? I believe Mark Haddad is the top receiver in this division. Mike Surhan, 3 touchdowns in that game, and Eric Hamparasumian had a touchdown as well. Those top three receivers are really, really lethal for the flag dealers. I think I look at both teams, like I said, Trailer Park Boys kind of getting that second chance there after being beat in the semifinals. Um, I've watched them play a lot. I've watched both teams play a lot this season. I've scored kept a couple of their games. Flag dealers a bit more because again they have more experience. Trailer Park Boys. I'm looking at it, so I checked it. Yeah, none of these guys have a championship. At least none of the main core players
Okay.
have a championship on a team. I talked about Jean Sebastien Saint Arnaud, who is on this squad for the Trailer Park Boys. He missed that week three game, but again, no worse for wear was his team as they got the win. Marc-Etienne Samard, Defensive Player of the Year, 7 INTs for the Trailer Park Boys. So that's something that I think Roy Khalil and his offense is going to have to be aware of. We had a shootout last time. I think we're going to have a shootout this time. And for me, at least, I'm leaning towards, I think the flag dealers to get the W this time, to get revenge and to walk away with the championship.
Okay. So you're basically saying that Roy is going to have a very good game because if he ends up throwing and there's 2 interceptions, I don't think they're going to win that game.
True. I mean that's for sure. I mean, listen, I think he's going to learn off of that performance. I hope he does. I mean, he has to protect the ball. That's always been his Achilles heel, is protecting the ball. Again, he's a reigning quarterback of the year for a reason, so he's done a pretty decent job this year of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just think they're going to learn from that lesson. Again, Trailer Park Boys, right? They're lucky to be here. Let's call a spade a spade. They lost to Cedric Fitzcasso, again, a great athlete, but he was like the third quarterback or second quarterback for the Stables, right? Roy Khalil's a better quarterback than Cedric Fitzcasso, and I think they couldn't get past him. And with that Stables offense, who they have some weapons in Stables, but they don't have weapons like the flag dealers have. So I figure if Trailer Park Boys have trouble beating the Stables, which honestly they didn't really beat the Stables, I don't think they're going to beat the flag dealers for a second time this year.
Okay. So you got Flag Dealers, and I got
Yes,
Trailer
sir.
Park Boys. Okay,
All right, all right.
noted,
What
noted.
do you say? Final score quickly. Final score.
38-36.
Okay, all right. I got I got kind of seems like I got 42-36, but this time in favor of the Fly Dealers.
Okay,
All right, all
all
right.
right. The next
Okay.
game we have is actually intermediate, where you go to 5v5. We have Void versus Mighty Schmucks. So
Yeah.
they met in the regular season, but it was a forfeit by Mighty Schmucks. So Void ended up winning that game 30-0. So other than that, they didn't really play versus each other. Mighty Schmucks getting here, and pretty much
Well,
they kind of sorry.
no, that's it. They actually did play in that game, so I'll tell you why it was a
Oh, was it
forfeit.
a forfeit then?
Yeah, so it was a forfeit because the Mighty Schmucks went over the cap on defense.
Okay, sorry. I saw
Yeah,
30-0 and I kind of just went with it.
yeah, no worries, no worries. So I thought the same thing too, but I looked in and I'm like, oh, Mighty Schmucks actually whooped them. Mighty Schmucks beat them 39-18. But again, because they were over the cap on D, that's why they forfeited the game.
Okay. And yeah, Charles Corset went as quarterback because the
Yep.
thing wasn't there. Goodman wasn't there. Okay, makes sense. So I mean, different quarterback, and also I don't think Jeff wasn't there either. Sam ended up throwing that game, right?
Yeah, yeah, Sam
Yeah,
Ass and Astopoulos, yep, we threw.
yeah. So both quarter they're missing basically they're basically missing both quarterbacks that game. So I mean, that's a big thing. But they did get. I mean, they did get kind of destroyed. But other than that, so they did have a matchup, but both quarterbacks weren't there. Uh, how both teams kind of got to the finals, kind of just going from the semifinals. Mighty Smucks played Junkyard Dogs, and they won that game 27-14. And then Void played Flag Vengers, and they won 19-6, which is very interesting, right? I thought Flag Vengers was a way better team than the Void. They kind of, I feel like they
Yeah,
kind of showed it kind of all year long. But I watched that game, and I mean, I don't want to say Jeff played the greatest game, but he made some key passes when he needed to. Their defense balled out. I'll give them that. Void's defense literally balled out. When they needed a stop, they got a stop. When they needed a flag, they got a flag. When they needed a back down, they got a back down. It's kind of like saying when things are kind of just going your way, things are going your way. Flag Vengers, I think they stopped him in the red zone like 3 or 4 times where Xavier Couture was trying to score. Like he was trying to punch it in and he just couldn't. Like he would drive down the field, he would be dipping left and right. He was pretty much doing as much as he can. His receivers did not really help him as at all. They were not getting open every time they're doing like that breaking around that double move. The separation wasn't great enough. So Xavier was kind of like holding. He didn't want to throw a bad pass. He ended up taking off his legs. They're doing side snap. They're like he was trying to do the most he can,
yeah,
and just it wasn't enough. He needed someone else to kind of come up clutch. And even though Flag Vendors defense did an okay job on stopping Jeff and his team, they needed their offense to kind of pull through from them, and it just wasn't there. So Void ended up
right.
winning that game 19-6.
Okay, so I'm gonna say so. Who are you going with first in this game, in this rematch?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Mighty Smucks in this game.
Oh, yeah, well, that makes two of us. I've seen both these teams play. I actually saw Void play a couple weeks ago. Talented team, obviously Jeff Rosenblatt. He puts together a talented team all the time. Keon Cyrus is on the team. So Sam Anastopoulos, he's been hurt almost the entire year. I saw him, I think it was last Saturday at Con U. Still has a bit of a limp. He threw, but then he was really sore after. He says it was a mistake for him to play. He's maybe 60% right now, but in terms of the whole year, in terms of his
Mm.
health. So Nick DeMalo, obviously, he's the major go-to guy in his team, and Adam Malinoff, my main man, Peter Bertz, Peter Batodi, Vaughn Vaslit, good dude as well. He's on this team. I've seen the Mighty Schmucks play a lot this year, and I'll tell you what, I understand. So you look at Goodman, like we were talking before, a quarterback, right? So obviously he's a good quarterback. I'm talking about obviously Justin Goodman, veteran quarterback as well. I honestly think Charles Cassett is a better quarterback than Justin Goodman. I'll tell you why. And it has nothing to do with him. He used to play for McGill. I've known him since McGill. Nothing to do with that. I think Cossette's a better athlete. The games that I've seen him play, he throws dimes.
Hmm.
This guy throws dimes and he has a strong arm and he's smart. He's a former receiver. He's a former quarterback. He's played DB as well. He's played, I think, all three positions in university. Not so much quarterback university, but he would come in for a couple of plays. I remember his first year, I think he actually was playing a bit of quarterback, but either or,
He understands. He understands the
versatile.
game.
Yeah, he understands what to do when he has the ball in his hands, right? So and I've seen these guys play, and again, I look at this roster right for this team, and obviously there's a couple former McGill guys on there, right? There's a couple guys with speed and with athleticism. So I'm just going to go through the list quickly. So okay, I'm not McGill guys, but Will Seabag, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, Will Seabag. You got Felix Seabag. You have Nick Zaratos, right? These guys can all ball on this team. And it doesn't end there, right? I mean, they just Bartholomew, I think Hugh J is how he pronounces his last name. But anyways, a guy with Win Diesel and the Seabag brothers. He's been there forever, right? He's a stud. This guy, he can catch any ball. He has the speed to blow the top off of the defense. And you have Goodman there. Goodman could play. He plays quarterback, but he could play some other spots as well, right? This team has some athletes. Uh, even Mass Chiricosta, right? He's a guy who's been in the league for a long time. He had 10 TD catches this season, right? Second on the team behind Will Seabag. But I think one team just has the athleticism and the speed advantage over the other, and I think that's Mighty Schmucks over Void. But I'm going with the Mighty Schmucks in this game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm with you the same thing. I think, to be honest, I think it's gonna be a good game. I do want to say if Void's defense played the same way they played versus Flag Vengers, then I'm gonna give it to Void. But I mean, I
Right,
think
right,
I don't think they're
right.
gonna be able to do that twice. Um, so that's the reason why I'm kind of going towards Mighty Schmucks. I think they also have a better, more athletic roster. I would want to say, and just maybe just a bit more football experience towards their side of the ball. I think a lot of the players from the Void, other than Jeff Rosenblatt, I feel like a lot of their players are kind of getting new to the game, and it's a bit different. And 5v5 isn't the same thing as 6v6, and it really comes down on play calling as well too, right? Who's able to come up with more play calling. And again, Jeff is not the most comfortable person when it comes to play calling in 5v5. He kind of does the same thing he does for 66, where it does work, but in some situations, if you kind of could understand a certain concept and you kind of could take away certain reads, you could take a huge advantage. I think the Mighty Smucks are athletic enough to kind of understand and do that.
That makes sense. Makes sense. All right, so that is the second game of Saturday that starts at 1 o'clock. So make sure to check that one out. Again, Void and Mighty Schmucks battling for the 5v5 intermediate title. Up next, we have the first women's game of championship weekend. We have Women's C. We have Eight Town Black taking on Run Like a Girl. Looking at how both teams got here, semifinals took place this past Monday at Mary Vic. Run Like a Girl, tight one, knocking off Eight Town White, and then Eight Town Black Taiwan as well, 7-6 over Obsidian. But definitely an upset there. At least for me watching Obsidian the last couple of weeks, month and a bit actually, to be honest with you, I thought Obsidian was going to be in the finals, but I was clearly wrong. A-Town Black punching their ticket again, like I said, taking on Run Like a Girl. So this game will start at 2:20 on Saturday. I know you were at Mary Vic on Monday
Yeah,
for the
so
semifinals.
exactly. So I was at Mary Vic. I had my Division B semifinals that we'll talk about later on. But yeah, so I'm there, and we're kind of warming up, and all of us it's pretty loud. I feel like when you're playing women's, like when Willful is going on, I think it's a bit louder. It's more There's a bit more energy, more people screaming on even small plays. Like you get a back down, and it's the greatest play ever. Which is it to me. I find that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like I would love to make a play. Even don't get me wrong, usually I make a play and I hear like "Go Q" or "Good job Q," but like when you have the whole team, everyone kind of cheering like "Yo, nice play," you're like, "Oh my god, that's crazy." So like the cheering was loud, but for some reason like the cheering was extremely loud, and I kind of
Yeah.
turned my head, and all the girls from H Town are they're running towards the middle of the field. And I'm just like, oh, I'm like, what the hell? What happened? They're running, and I feel like I'm like, okay, they won. But the thing is, I thought it was H Town White. So I didn't realize. Sorry, eight, or maybe I'm getting confused with the two teams. I think it was eight. Wait, let me just make sure I say this right. Standings. I thought it was eight. I thought it was Eight Town White that was playing, and they were playing Run Like a Girl. So I thought Eight Town White won, but actually it was Eight Town Black that won, and they beat Obsidian. So I was just like, oh, that's crazy. So I kind of went by a bit after, and then I realized that they won in overtime. So this game pretty much ended 7-6. Uh, um, sorry, just gonna go here and just make sure I say it properly. So this game was pretty much it was 7-6. It was sorry. So it was 6-0 in the first half, and A Town Black was kind of just holding down the lead. And then the second half, Obsidian scored, and then it was going back and forth, stop, stop, stop. They go to overtime, stop, 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 and then stop. And then A Town had one chance to kind of win, and they finally got the convert. But like, can you imagine like how much defense? Like again, it's 5v5, so if you don't pass midfield or like, it is difficult to a certain point, you know. So it was just kind of funny the fact that overtime, like he goes, you know, usually overtime one team scores, the other team kind of scores after, but it went stop, 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 stop. And then the team scored, and then all the girls were running on the field and they are like cheering for maybe a good like 30 seconds, and they did handshakes, everything was fine. But I was still surprised. I think we're both surprised the fact that it's A Town Black that's going to the finals and not A Town White, where A Town Black just squeezed in to get into this finals. So it's gonna be, I mean, shout out to them the fact that they kind of they dealt with the whole season. You know, like again, they finished 3-7, points for 129, which is not the greatest. Points against 189, and they knocked out the number one seed Obsidian, where they were. I feel like they were one of the clear favorites to win women's C this year.
No, 100%. That's what I was saying before, right? Like I thought for sure Obsidian would at the very least make the finals, but hey, you got to go out and play the game. And listen, if your defense, speaking of A-Town Black, you hold the team to 6 points, I mean, you should get the W, regardless of the struggles of your offense. So yeah, big win by A-Town Black. Again, this is why we play the games, right? You're gonna have upsets. We'll get to a lot of those later, but and this is one of them right now. Um, both teams met twice in the regular season. Run like a girl, winning both games 13-7 in week 4 and then 32-14 in week 5. So it's been a while, right? The last matchup again, week 5 was all the way back in like mid June 18th, right? So June, pardon me, actually June 21st was the last time these two teams met. So it's been pretty much by the time finals weekend rolls around, it'll be 2 full months between these teams last seeing each other. So yeah, I think for me, the key to this game is going to be A-Town Black. Again, like I said, they won 7-6. Kudos to their defense. But again, one touchdown, right? Yeah, I'm looking at A-Town Black right now. There's one, two, three, four games this season where they scored either one touchdown or less. And there's been one, two, yeah, 2 games where they score, sorry, 3 games where they score only two touchdowns or less, right? So that's not a recipe for success. I mean, it was enough to get the past Obsidian, so you never know. Maybe this defense will have another remarkable Baltimore Ravens like performance and hold run like a girl to a touchdown or less. But I don't think you can really bank on that. So of course, what I'm saying is the key for this game is going to be the offense, right? Catherine Bilodeau, she's going to have to have some long drives, give her defense a rest, and put some points on the board if A-Town Black wants to pull off another upset and walk away with the Women's C Championship.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Again, like you're kind of saying, their defense is going to have to ball out the day when Ray Lewis was out there with the Baltimore Ravens. They're going to have a defense like that. They're going to want to make it a low scoring game, you know, like, but I feel like their offense has to score. I think if their offense can score maybe 3 touchdowns, they could get away with a win here. But one touchdown, I don't think it's going to be enough. But I feel like their defense, again, they came aligned. Obsidian was the number two powerhouse offense. Number one was A Town White scoring 254, which is insane numbers compared to all other teams. But if their defense can play the same way they played versus Obsidian and kind of just was like, hey, listen, guys, I have my saying is bend don't break. You know, if you're gonna give, you can give the 6 yards, give the 7 yards, but when it comes to the red zone or when it comes to that fourth down, just make the stop. You know, do what you got to do to make that stop. Give the ball back to your offensive, and if your offense can get a touchdown, bring momentum towards you. So I feel like if A Town Black could kind of do that, they have a good chance to win. Again, we're kind of saying like it's kind of hard to kind of do the same thing again, but if you could do it once, you could do it again, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100% you can. 100%. All right. So who are you picking for the game?
I'm gonna go run like a girl.
Yeah, same here.
I'm
Sorry. Yeah, same here.
gonna go. With all that being said, I'm gonna go run the girl. But prove me wrong at that point. Like I wouldn't be like,
Yeah.
oh, but prove me wrong. Like I'm gonna go with the numbers. I'm gonna go with more the fact that A-Town Black did struggle all year long. On scoring, their defense is not the worst defense again, too, right? I think they're number 4 in the division, but their offense is it's a point where when you're not scoring that many points, it is it becomes very difficult. I kind of saying 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns. Like it's hard to win a game, especially in the championship. It's different. You have to realize like it's not a regular like playoff game. There's regular season, there's playoffs, and then there's championship. It's different, There's they're saying there's levels to this shit, So I just mean like
Very true.
I feel like I'm gonna give it to Run Like a Girl. I think they're gonna score touchdowns and they're gonna make defensive stops when they have to. But again, if A-Town Black decides to prove me wrong, I'm all for it.
All right, all right. Good luck. So that game is at 3:40 on Saturday. Sorry, not 3:40. Pardon me. It's at 2:20 on
Yes.
Saturday. We move to the game at 3:40. It's going to be co-ed 4, the number 5 seed, 4-6 Vodka Red Bull taking on the number 1 seed, 9-1 Flamingos. I can't lie. I'm super excited to watch this game. I've scored at the Flamingos a couple of times now this season, later in the season, especially. This is a team that could fly. I was talking to somebody about them the other day, and they asked me, what kind of team are the Flamingos? And I'm like, this team has depth. There's about 12, 13 players. They have speed. We talked about Susanna Loaiza, and she's not the only one that with some wheels on the team. My main man, Alessandro Daniel, obviously the number 1 player for Vodka Red Bull. He has some wheels, and his team. I've scored kept a couple of their games. I like what I've seen out of Vodka Red Bull. Um, Riley Vaughn, good quarterback, up and coming quarterback as well. He's a big guy, right? He has some wheels as well, actually. He's a pretty good athlete. I saw him sub a couple times in some of the higher divisions. Victoria Bouchard. Well, actually, I'll get to that in a second. This team has some depth, not as much as the Flamingos, because I don't think too many teams have as much depth as the Flamingos, but they have some players on this team, and I think it's going to be an entertaining game. Looking quickly, so Troy Daniel is actually Alessandro's dad, so it's cool father and son connection being on this team as well. Um, they met earlier in the season. My apologies. I wrote down the score and I'm just trying to find it on my paper here. And it's why I get to the yeah, sorry, I have it here. So the Flamingos in week 5 beat Vodka Red Bull 40-25
Mhm.
again. So that's all the way back in week 5, right? So that's all the way at the end of June. So actually no, sorry, week 9, my apologies. So mid July, mid July. So we're just over a month ago. Again, 40-25 in favor of the Flamingos. So got Gabriel Lapro, and he was in the competition for one of the fastest guys, lower division. Don't forget, we're going to give you our results of the fastest male Div 2 or lower and the fastest female at the end of this episode. So make sure you tune in. Lapro had 5 TD passes in that contest. Riley Vaughn had 4 TD passes. I mentioned Alessandro Daniel in that first game. 7 catches, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns. Susanna Loaiza, she had 3 grabs, 42 yards, 2 touchdowns, and there's about 3 other receivers. Mathis Germain, Julian Bernard, and Sophie Kuzam, who had touchdowns for the winning side as well. Again, this should be a really entertaining matchup. What are you looking for in this game?
Offense. I'm looking to score teams for points to be scored. I think this is going to be a high scoring game. Again, how we're kind of saying that this game didn't end 40-25 the last time these teams played. I think Vodka Red Bulls. I mean, I think they're getting better. Right, to kind of get here, they had to
Yeah,
play
yeah.
against. They ended up playing versus Volition and Delicious, and they gave them the work. Right, they ended up winning that game 40-25. They scored points. I think they're gonna have to do the same thing against Flamingos. Don't get me wrong, Flamingos is a great team. They kind of showed the reason why they finished their season 9-1 and only allowing 196 points per game. So they're only averaging 20 points. They're only letting teams score 20 points, and that's exactly what Vodka Red Bull end up scoring around that line, right? To the 20 to 25 yard mark, which is basically 3 to 4 touchdowns. If you're not counting like kind of conferences like that. So I think but I do think Vodka Red Bull is getting way better, and I think um, Alessandro Daniel, I think he's gonna be the X factor. I think he's gonna have to really pull out for his team make those difficult catches when it has to be done, and just kind of like to a point carry the team on his back. And then again, Victoria Bouchard as well too. I think if they kind of could get her going as well too, I think that's also going to be one of the X factors as well too, because she's a type of player where if you decide to kind of miss her on a quick hook or not, she's gone. I believe she did get hurt in
Yeah.
Brossard.
So yeah, yeah.
I believe I remember I did see her get hurt in Brossard, so I don't know exactly how bad the injury was. So there's also that. So I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. But I mean, if you get those two players going, I feel like they have a good chance to win.
Okay, so I'll tell you. So I actually reached out to Alessandro today because again, like you said, Victoria, that his girlfriend, she got hurt. Victoria's a great kid. Gotten to talk to her a little bit during the IG team games and all the other teams she plays on, and this team as well. So she always comes up and says what's up to me and vice versa. So she actually tore a ligament in her thumb last night. In the
Okay.
IG team's win. So I highly doubt she's going to be available. And unfortunately, this weekend, finals weekend, right? I mean, she went down. I remember we were all looking over, and it wasn't a good look for her in terms of this injury. You could tell right away it was serious, right? Her whole team came over, huddled around her. Even the other team came and checked it out well. So best wishes to her. I mean, she's a great kid, like I said, and I'm not gonna lie, I take a lot of joy out of watching her play. She's someone who always a smile on her face even when things aren't going good, that she's competitive and she's always trying to cheer on her teammates, and her teammates get super excited when she makes plays as well. And someone who's gotten better, at least like going from at least last season to this season. And so best wishes to her, obviously. And I don't know if surgery is going to be an option or not for her thumb. I imagine if ligaments are torn, it probably will be, but hopefully she'll be
Yeah.
back on the
Well,
field sooner than later.
yeah. Well, it depends on the torn ligament. It could be like a partial
Yeah,
tore. It could be a completely tore. So it all depends. If surgery is needed, it takes like 3 months to kind of recover.
yeah,
Around
yeah.
like that's what like from guys, because I've played with guys that have got hurt like that. But if it's like a mild sprain something like that, it's about 1 to 3 weeks. And technically, depending how you are, you could kind of just tape your thumb and you just kind of play with one hand. You play defense type stuff. But I mean, like
Yeah,
again, she
yeah,
she does have a whole season coming up. I know she just signed with because she's in high school, right? She just I think she went to Lilu. I think she just had her graduation, just finished. Now she's going to Maule, and again, her season literally starts, I believe, in like 2-3 weeks. I believe
yeah.
Maule is playing Edwin Lennoxville, Lennox. So, but anyways, I know that. Anyway, getting off talk there, but I mean, I feel like she's kind of maybe looking forward more to her school season that she's kind of looking forward to, like rushing to come play the finals FBF, end up making it worse, and then making it difficult for her to actually enjoy her first rookie season in college, right?
Yeah, listen, obviously, people are going to look forward to their academic teams, if you will. But again, we signed up to play in FPF, right? She's part of a team.
Mhm.
I've talked to her a bit this season. Like she's gung ho. Like she's told me she's down to play like
Yeah,
whenever,
yeah, she's
whoever.
young.
Like she's
Yeah,
down to
but
play.
you're young. That's like what you want to do. Like
Yeah,
she's the
yeah, for
type of
sure, for sure.
she's the type of player. Hey, like you like, hey, we need a sub. She's like, oh, cool. When like when like she
Yeah,
enjoys the sport so much, and you can see how much fun
yeah,
she having. Like when she
exactly.
drops the
Yeah,
ball, she's like smiling. She makes a catch. She makes a move. Like
yeah, yeah.
you can see the enjoyment she has playing this game, which is like it's amazing to
Exactly.
see, because that's what you like love to see about the sport. When someone's kind of playing, you're like that playing that, like they're doing it because they have a passion to be doing it, you
Yeah,
know?
that's it. That's
So
it. That's it. There you go. And she's good. She's getting
yeah,
better
yeah,
and she's good. And I think she's
she's
getting
great.
confidence in herself, which is great to see. Anyway, so like I said, but I will say though, when it rains, it pours. So talking to Alessandro, he actually got into a car accident this yesterday as well. So
Oh
it's just
wow.
yeah. So his girl tears her thumb and then or whatever. I think it's her thumb, and he gets into a crash. So either yesterday or over the weekend going to Laval, he told me. So yeah, when it rains, it pours. So message to both in the Victoria and Daniel, keep your heads up. Things will get better, 100%. In terms of this game, though, who do you have winning this contest?
I'm gonna go with the favorite. I'm gonna go with the Flamingos. The Flamingos actually are a great team. They kind of showed all year. They're fast. They're quick. Their girls can ball. Their guys can ball. I just think I wouldn't say they're more athletic than the Red Bulls, but I just think they have a slight edge on them, and I think that's going to make a big difference in this championship game.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I would have said if Victoria Bouchard was playing, I would have said Vodka Red Bull just because she's athletic and she's fast, as is a lot of the players on the Flamingos. I think losing her, they lose one of their key defensive players who's really good in coverage. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Flamingos, and I've been really impressed with the Flamingos. I can't remember who had asked me about them the other day, but again, like I said, this team is fast. They run a lot of dual quarterback. Both the quarterbacks can launch it downfield, and they got the athletes to go get those balls. So yeah, I'm going with the Flamingos for sure in this game.
Cool.
Uh, okay, so yeah, that's the 3:40 game. Up next, we have the 5 o'clock game. It is Division F, so our newest division, at least for the 6v6 format. We have the top two seeds. The number one seed, 9-1 Baby Sharks taking on the number two seed, also 9-1 Aladdin FC. Looking forward to this game. Both teams have one loss. They did not play each other in the regular season, so that's also is going to be a fresh game for both sides. I've had a chance to scorekeep a couple of the Baby Sharks games. Jonathan Caron, a pretty solid quarterback, especially for Division F. The Sharkawi brothers, Max and Alex, those guys can make some plays. I was just doing some research before. The two brothers, again, Max and Alex Sharkawi, they've combined for 977 yards. Kid, not so bad. 25 touchdowns between the two of them this season. Clearly, they can ball.
That's crazy. Big numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's looking at this game. I mean, I think it's going to be a high scoring game. Again, two top teams. Looking at the Baby Sharks, they have the top offense and top defense in this division. Aladdin FC has the number 4 ranked defense. Yeah, like I said, both teams have one loss. Aladdin FC losing to 1664 Blondes on week 2. And the Baby Sharks, they lost the regular season finale. Actually, they lost the TGs to close out the regular season. So, Aladdin FC has won 7 straight coming into the playoffs, not counting the playoffs itself, but regular season they won 7 straight. Obviously, uh, Baby Sharks winning 9 out of 10 to finish off the regular season. How do you see this game shaping up?
Um, so I personally think I like Baby Sharks. I think their name is pretty cool. But I personally think that Baby Sharks are gonna pretty much dominate. I watched them play. How many times did I watch Baby Sharks play? I think I watched them play 4 times this season, and they were very impressive. Like, and I don't say that often, especially certain teams, right? Because it is Division
F.
F. It is sorry, Division F. But yeah, they have a very good team. I feel like the fact that they're playing Division F, I feel like they're not even Division F team. You know, we're kind of saying Division F is supposed to be for newer teams. Like I don't. I think. Sorry. So I think they would have managed in Division E1 and E2. I don't think they would have had a perfect season where they went 9-1. But I think they probably would have been one of the higher pack where they probably could have went 6-4 and 5-5. I think some of their games that they played this season, I think they were just dominant. Like I think I watched them play. What was it? I'm trying to let me look their schedule. I watched them play Toolbox, right? And they won that. Okay, week 1, early on, they won that game 26-0. But they were so much better than Toolbox. I mean, again, Toolbox didn't have the greatest season, but they were so much better than Toolbox where I was like, oh, wow. Like, how is
Yeah,
this
yeah,
team
yeah.
playing versus a team like that? You know, like 26-0 is still 26-0, you know? And most of the games that they played this season, other than TGs where they end up losing that game 25-24, they blew out everybody else. There wasn't
Yeah,
one
that's
game
true.
where it
That's
was
true. Yeah.
close and you're like, oh, wow, this is a close game. Like, going down their whole schedule, it's been blowouts. Game double digit scores where it's to a point where after halftime the game's over. I think the closest other than that other TGs where they lost 25-24 where again converts big it makes a big thing. It was bug sacks where they won 24-19. And I think it was raining that day. So I mean that also makes a difference, but I just think this team they're good. And I don't think they're a Division F team. If they do come back, they're definitely going to have to make a jump because there's no way they're going to play back into this division.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, but then Aladdin FC, they're also a pretty good team as well too. Um, I think I've watched them play once, but again, there's a reason why they're 9-1. I forgot what team they ended up playing against, but they blew them out as well too. Like it was pretty big. And one thing I do have to say, they did beat TGS. So I mean, there is that. They beat them
Yeah.
35.
Yeah.
They beat them 31-25. So it also goes to show that TGS is a pretty good team. But I just feel like I would give I would give the I would give the bigger advantage towards Baby Sharks. I just think they were just more dominant and kind of shown in the season as well too. How many points they scored on offense and how many points they gave up on defense this year.
All right, I feel you. I don't think you're wrong at all. I will say I score kept only one Aladdin FC game. That was their game against Vic's Doghouse. It was a Saturday at Loyola back in week 3, and I was like, Aladdin FC, they're not bad. So Ben Levy, the quarterback, I came away kind of impressed with him and his top receiver Mike Del Grosso hooked up for 15 touchdowns this year. I remember seeing not scorekeeping, but watching them on a field while I was scorekeeping another game later in the season. So some guys caught my eye. So there was one of the receivers. I'm just trying to get his name again. I had written it down. So yeah, so one of the receivers, I was like, okay, he made a couple of grabs. So yeah, Shane Silversmith, that's who it was. I was like, okay, number 2, Shane Silversmith, Ryan Liverman ran number 12 as well. They don't have any. These guys aren't scrubs. Like these guys can ball as well. Like I said, I have those seen Baby Sharks a bit more. I've seen Caron and Sharkawi play not just this season, but seasons in the past as well. They had this one team was more talented than the other, and I will give the edge to the Baby Sharks in this game. Um, I think I understand what you're saying about the blowouts. I honestly do. I'm looking at Aladdin FC in terms of their schedule. Yeah, a lot of their games, yeah, a little closer. A lot of those 1 or 2 possession games, but what that tells you is this team knows how to pull out a win, right? Like it's great to beat the blowout teams, but also when your backs are against the wall, you need to get a stop or you need to get a game-winning touchdown. Aladdin FC has proven they could do that as well. Like I said, they've won 7 straight going into the playoffs. Uh, I think this game is going to be close. I know you're saying probably blow. I think it's going to be close. I'm going to side with the Baby Sharks because again they have the top offense and top defense in this possession in this contest. Again, you have to win. You win a championship by playing defense. So again, I'll give the edge to the team with the better defense. But if I go home Saturday nights and I realize that Baby Sharks have lost, I can't say I'm going to be super surprised. I think this is for me, it's a toss up game. Pick 'em
Well,
game.
I mean, at the end of the day, they're both teams that dominated this year, right? That's the reason why they just finished
Yep.
right next to each other. So it's not like, oh my god, like how did they lose? You know, there's a reason why you have a certain record when you have a certain record. So I completely agree with you on that point. I just think Baby Sharks, again, I watched them play again. I watched how they didn't play once, and the game I did play, I'm pretty sure they won pretty big too. I just don't remember who they played against. And again, there's so many games this year, there's so many teams. But I watched the baby like for some reason the schedule for the Baby Sharks. I played a game either after them or before them, and I like to hang around, watch some teams. And I watched them. I got to watch them 3 or 4 times, and they look like they just dominated who they were playing against. So it's kind of point where when I see talent and I see guys kind of just like they're playing, but it's like it's effortless, and I kind of see that, especially in a division like Division F. I'm just like, one, this team does not belong here, and two, I'm gonna slide to a team when they're doing that, especially like stats don't lie, right? There's a reason why they scored.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
reason why they dominated the way they did for the points for on offense, and the reason why they dominated for the points against, and it's like, and at the end of the day, defense wins championships. I think their defense is gonna have a decent amount of stops in this game.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Let's
Okay.
jump into Division C, which is
Yes, sir.
your division.
Yes, sir.
Which
Yes,
is your
sir.
division. So, I mean, we got to see we get to see 2 pretty good teams. The veteran team Juggerbomb versus the All Blacks. Are you
Yeah.
surprised? Like, minus your team away, are you surprised that it's these 2 teams in the finals?
Okay, so I wrote that in my article. I wrote a semifinals preview on Monday. a little bit before the game started, and I wrote that the four teams who took part in the semifinals for Division C. Of course, I'm talking about All Blacks, Jager Bomb, obviously, as well as the Peckers and Uncle Rico Riders. I'm like, these are four teams that not everyone probably thought was going to be in the semifinals. I will say Jager Bomb is definitely a team I thought would be in the semifinals. Yeah, Jager Bomb is a veteran team. They make at least the second round of the playoffs every year. They're the best team left for sure. And after the upsets that happened in the quarterfinals with my team, who crapped the bed, and with Beer Belly Brigade, who also crafted the bed. More on that in a few minutes, by the way. Yeah, but Jagabomb is the best team, so I'm not surprised that they were there. Uncle Rico Riders, again, this is a team who I've played against a million times. I love this team. Like I love the feistiness and competitiveness of this team. I mean, they put up 38 points, but then they gave up 58, right? To Jagabomb. So you're not going to win if you give up 60 burger. Um, all Blacks and Peckers. I didn't think the Peck. I knew Corey. So the regular quarterback on the Peckers, the guy. I think I talked about it last week. Um, Corey. Sorry, I'm just forgetting his last name. My God, sorry. Corey Pecker. Sorry. So I played against him way back in the day in FPF. Yeah, I've been in the league for a while. He's a veteran quarterback, but it's Noah Liebline now, who's kind of this like the starter pretty much for the squad. I didn't expect the Packers to make the semifinals. To answer your question, sorry, long-winded way. Yeah, All Blacks and Jager Bomb are not. At least one of them is not a team who I thought would make the finals. If you would have told me at the beginning of the season, Jager Bomb was a team in the finals, yeah, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. They're a veteran squad. They've been here before. Uh, I think out of all the teams in this division, they have the most chemistry and of everybody. And that includes Beer Belly Brigade, definitely includes my team, includes the All Blacks, the Hustlers, all that, so on and so forth. Uncle Rico Riders, again, a team that's been here for a while. Mengus as well. I think the Jagerbomb has the most chemistry. And I think they have the best quarterback as well, right? Simon Deshane, number one in yards, in completion percentage, in touchdowns. Taking on so Yannick Bissonnette is getting to this quarterback matchup. He's not a scrub. This guy, he's second in touchdowns. He's third in touchdowns, second in yards. I think he's third in completion percentage. So Yannick Bissonnette, who doesn't get talked about as much, uh, he's an elite quarterback, at least for Division C. So I think that's going to be a big matchup. You look at the playmakers, right? We talked about so Jean Felix Daluz, and classy guy, stand up dude, and one of the best receivers in Division C. You'd even say maybe in the history of flag football in terms of his consistency and his hands. He's getting a little older. He has a bit more size in him now, but he's still able to create separation, and he comes up with a lot of big plays. He's a go-to guy for this Jaguar squad. Kevin Marcel as well, a good dude and tons of speed. Massey Marsan, Laurent Foucault. I can go on and on with the squad, right? You have the All Blacks though, so playing in Division C, right? I There's a lot of teams who I know, but there's some teams I don't know as much. All Blacks played in Division C last year as well, so I knew about Justin Melrose. This guy's a two-way stud. If you don't know who he is, look him up. He had 6 INTs this year for the squad, and he had 8 touchdowns. Sam Lachance, well, he's a playmaker, leading receiver, 9 touchdowns for the squad. Felix Derry Bernard, he's a guy who's going to be going higher and higher in terms of the divisions that he plays. This guy is a stud. I know he threw last year. This year he's a receiver. Gab Couture, obviously from like the Merge and all the other teams of Marc Andre Reeves, he's on this team as well. Felix Houdon, another guy on that merge lineage, if you will. Guillaume Chalambois as well. I wrote an article a few weeks ago about division award winners. I know you guys never asked me who I think should win, but Guillaume Chalambois, I was going to say 6 regular season games. So on offense, he had 5 TDs, which is great. 6 regular season games, he has 6 INTs and 16 touchdowns. So this guy, you prorate that over a whole season, 10 games played, 10
Yeah,
INTs,
but
right?
you can't. Yeah. Whoa, but you can't predict it like that. You can't be like, oh,
Can. If
that's
Terrell
the kind
Davis
of
can get into
thing.
the Hall
Like,
of Fame
no, but I'm
off
just
of
saying
what
you
he could
can't
have
you
done,
can't predict say, okay, well, you can't. Oh, I averaged 6 INTs. Sometimes like I've had seasons where
maybe.
I've had seasons where I had, I think, maybe 9 or 10 picks in the first 5 games or 6 games, and all of a sudden the next 4 games I get zero. So it all depends how the day is. I had seasons where I hurt myself and I couldn't play the next 2 games. You don't know when people get, like, anything can happen. So it's the point where, like,
True.
I don't think you can base the average or even give a reward to someone. Well, you played 6 games, so you get rewarded to get a reward because technically you're on pace to do this. Like we've had people also, we talked about it on the podcast where we had people almost maybe breaking a record where they're averaging, let's just say 70 yards rushing, and then they end up being not even close to being the record. So yeah, it is impressive, but I don't think you could base it off and say, okay, well, if he had this, he's gonna keep doing this. Every team is different, every situation is different, and everything happens differently. You can't just assume that he's gonna have.
Okay, so I hear you on that 100%. I'm just saying, if you have a defender who has 6 INTs, they have to at least, even if it's only in 6 games played, they have to at least be in the discussion for defensive player. 6 INTs, people
No,
can win
it,
defensive
it
player of
could
the
be
year.
in discussion, but you're not gonna get rewarded because you only play 6 games. Because to the point where people are like, if I played 5 games, right, and I had 10 INTs, or sorry, that's a lot. If I had
Yeah,
played
yes,
five games,
I
right,
would give you
and I
defensive player of
had
the year. Well,
if I
yeah,
had six
100%,
INTs, if I want
100%.
to
I would tell you.
no, but I'm saying if I had, oh, that would be also crazy too. But like, it's
Yes.
what? Why am I? I'm like, no, let me lock it down here. I'm good. I'm good. Get defensive player of the year. Like, give it to me. Like no, play. You paid for a whole season, and if you didn't pay for a whole season, I mean, good for you. You saved yourself $250. But I mean, if how I see it, if you're paying for a season, play all
Mhm.
your damn games. Unless you get hurt,
Hey,
that's a
but
different
maybe he
story.
was injured. I don't know. I don't know what we don't know what the agreement was with him and the team.
Then don't get injured. I don't know I don't know what to tell you.
I was saying, I had in that article. I think I actually gave him defensive player of the year. I gave him his flowers at least. I'm like, okay, even if you don't win it, which I didn't. I know how you guys picked. I know he wasn't going to win it, but I was like, at least I had to give him a shout out because 6 INTs in 6 games is pretty phenomenal. That's all I'm saying.
No, it
Even
is.
6 INTs in 10 games is still pretty good too.
Mm. No, I'll give it to him.
Anyway,
I'm just saying.
going
Um,
on again. So this matchup, not what many people expected, but I think it's still going to be a good contest.
I do want to say with All Blacks, right? Because we did talk about it. Oh, you kind
Mhm.
of you mentioned it that they played last season. They were the number ranked team last season for their defense, right?
It
They
was
I'm
right.
pretty they last season All Blacks
Mhm.
winter when they played Division 3, right, or
Yeah.
Division 4, Division 3, Division 4. I'm not sure which division they played, but I'm pretty sure it was Division 3. They and I might be wrong on this number, but I'm pretty sure I'm not because I have a memory. They only allowed 178 points on defense last season, averaging 17. If you look at this season, their defense only allowed
Oh, yep.
228 points. If you
Yep.
compare that to pretty much anybody else, one, they are ranked the best defense in the division by
No,
some
they're
teams.
second. Oh, yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
No,
You're
they're
right. You're right.
number
You're right.
one. They're
No,
number
you're
one
right.
at
My bad. You're right. You're right.
228.
You're right.
I
You're right.
think they're one, Belly's two, and then you're
Yeah, we're
three.
third. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and to be honest, there's a big jump from some of these teams that allow 342. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're like 120 points difference compared to some of these teams, and some of these teams don't want to point out numbers, but some of these teams won games 60-0 because they had a forfeit or 30-0.
Yeah, yeah. That's true. That's
So I
true.
mean,
That's
like
very true.
their defense is legit. I remember last season, I forgot who they lost against, but they lost that game because it was a very low. I'm pretty sure it was a very low scoring game, but their defense is. I don't know who's calling defense. I don't know what they're doing on defense, but they're doing a really good job. And it's not like they're not scoring, and they're not scoring like a lot of teams. But you have to realize when your defense is doing so much, you don't get sometimes as much opportunities to score touchdowns. So it does sometimes affect your ratio, how many points you're scoring, because how many points you're allowing as well too, right? Shorter, longer drives for teams because your defense is kind of out there and they're making bigger stops towards the goal line. Less time is kind of running, so there's a whole bunch of bit of factors. But I have to say for them, like again, I if you ask me this, do I personally think this team was going to make the finals? No, I think they probably would have got knocked out in the semifinals or even quarters. Depending because all these teams are so good. But I have to do say, we kind of say it, defense wins championship. So again, am I surprised that they're here? Yes, but if you kind of look at it this way, I'm not that surprised. One thing I do have to say is also is that both of these teams must have been so happy to see that Beer Belly Brigade got knocked out and you guys got knocked out, because the bottom of the pack, the teams that kind of were struggling, Peckers, don't get me wrong, you not the greatest team this year. Uncle Rico Riders a bit better. The fact that they kind of finished that eighth spot, they were pretty much a team that could have finished in the top four, and they would have been fine looking at the
Yeah.
ratio of their points, 4 points against. But again, I feel like you feel a bit more confident when you're playing versus a lower seed, compare instead of playing those top seeds where they pretty much
Yeah, for
dominate
sure.
all season.
100%. 100%. I actually I talked to John Felix Deluz right after my team got beat. I had to score keep his game against the Hustlers. A great game actually. Went to overtime. Fantastic one. Fantastic win by Jagerbomb. And he's like, I was looking forward to playing you guys in the playoffs. And I said, yeah, me too, because we've been playing each other the last couple of years. They knocked us out last year. We beat them in the regular season this year, and I like playing Jagerbomb. Yeah. Listen, I'll talk really briefly about my team. We crapped the bed. We came out unfocused against Beckers. I contacted Corey Becker after the game. I said, "Congrats! They didn't even need you to play." My team was not. We came out flat as heck, no energy. Same thing against Beer Brother Brigade. We came out flat the week before. It happens, right? We got to show up early. We got to show up ready to go, not waiting just to not assuming we're going to win because we show up. That was a problem with my team. Some guys on my team, at least, sure, I think, and just coming off flat and not being focused, like joking around too much and not being serious. And I want to have fun too. We're having fun, but like playoffs are playoffs, right? It's a different animal. So we got beat. Beer Brother Brigade. That was a great. I score kept that. Actually, I didn't score keep that game. The game I was supposed to score keep got forfeited. I ended up watching that game. Great game, back and forth. Two veteran teams again. Beer Brother Brigade, Uncle Rico Riders. I will say so. I want to give a special shout out to my new best friend on Beer Belly Brigade because he blamed me for their loss. I had messaged this to Ali. I think I'm not sure Quaysie if it was in our group chat or just
No,
Ali. I
no,
can't remember.
yeah, no. You said on the podcast last week, I think. Oh no, no, you said no. You said in the group chat. So
Oh,
you said in the group chat.
oh yeah,
Yeah, you said in the
yeah.
group
So
chat.
yeah, said in the group chat. So my best friend on Beer Belly Brigade. Yeah, and this is a team. I'll give them the respect. They were the best team in this division, 100%. They beat us. They finished undefeated in the regular season, but they crapped the bed in the playoffs in terms of the defense. Felix Daou, number 99. So I'll just give the people at home who weren't there a quick little recap. Beer Burley Brigade gets a late touchdown to pull ahead with the lead. And they get the ball back. So Xavier Tran Khan, I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. I apologize if I mispronounced it. He gets a late touchdown. Beer Belly Brigade is up on Uncle Rico Riders. Uncle Rico Riders get the ball back. Now there was a false start on a receiver for Uncle Rico Riders. The receiver knew he went offside. He took a half step over the line and was like, oh man. But the officials didn't blow the play dead. Now I asked to have this explained to me after. So Stephen Donald, the referee, he goes, that actually doesn't meet the requirements of a false start because the player's whole body has to go over the line. He goes, that's why I didn't blow the play dead.
Yeah, you can
So
move.
the
Yeah,
play
exactly.
continued.
You have to have like yeah. You're allowed to move. You just can't go forward.
Yeah, you can't. So the guy did go forward, but it was like a foot. He got maybe half of his foot over the line. He stutter stepped and
Oh,
then reset, and then the play went on. Bill Brother Brigade, offside 100%. They stopped playing football, which these guys know. I don't know how many of these guys play tackle. I imagine this guy who I'm talking about probably did play tackle. He's a big boy there, Felix Taou, and at least I think Marc Andre Lapointe has definitely played tackle in the past. They just stopped playing and assumed there was going to be a call. No, that's football 101. You don't hear a whistle, keep on playing. They didn't. Uncle Rico Riders picked up the first down, and they went down 5 plays later. They got the winning touchdown uh, in that game. I can't remember who scored it. I'm gonna look it up as I'm talking here. Anyways, all that to say, the game ends, and these guys are furious. Now they were talking the whole game after that. During that play, they were talking that play, the play after, and the ensuing 4 plays after that. Oh, it was offside. I can't believe this didn't happen. One or two of the guys in the huddle were like, okay, forget about it. Doesn't matter, which you should be doing, right? And one or two guys, especially Daou, just couldn't focus, couldn't get it off of his mind. So they proceed to give up the game-winning touchdown. Just looking for the name here. And it is what it is. Last play of the game, or second to last play of the game, Uncle Rico Riders gets a touchdown. Beer Brother Brigade has a chance. A Hail Mary gets intercepted. Yeah, so it was Dennis Cotavas who scored the game-winning TD, 25-yard touchdown for Uncle Rico Riders, like I said. And the game ends on an INT by Fafard. Um, anyways, so this guy that who starts looking at me and saying it's my fault. I'm like, I didn't say anything. I actually said the play was offside because I thought it was offside until again after the game was explained to me that your whole body needs to be over the line. I didn't know that. That's my fault. I was like, no, that was offside. And he goes, oh, it's your fault for your reaction caused the referee not to say anything. I go, dude, I'm not even scorekeeping the game. I'm sitting watching the game with some other people. Was I cheering for Uncle Rico Riders? Yes, you're damn right. I was cheering for Uncle Rico Riders to win the game. But the referees don't care who wins or loses. They definitely don't
Yeah,
care
they
about
don't
my
care.
opinion.
That
I can tell you that a
one
thousand
thing I
percent.
could, yeah, exactly. The referees don't
Do not care.
care who you are.
Nope.
They don't know. Sometimes they don't know who's first place, who's last place, who's playing. It's not on their pad. Okay, number two best team, undefeated. That's not there. Maybe they'll see the seating because they need to know who's home, who's away sometimes. But trust me, they don't care. They do not care. So they don't. Sometimes like, oh, that was a very good game. This, da, da, da. But at the end of the day, they don't. They don't care. And also, it's the point where I always say this: never let the game come down to a ref. Ref. Never.
Exactly.
Don't put yourself
Exactly.
into that situation, and then you can say, well, they're part. Yeah, they're part of the game. But if you could avoid them, not to kind of make a big impact in the game, do it because it's the point if you guys were just dominated and you guys were up by the X amount of points where you guys should have been because you guys destroyed it all year and you guys were by far the better team. If you guys just played a better game, which you should have, you guys wouldn't have been in that situation where you were blaming someone, yelling at someone, telling someone this, telling them that. You guys would have won your game, called it a day, and maybe would have been playing in the championship this weekend.
Yeah. Or like I yelled back to Felix, who was running his mouth at me. Oh, your team lost. Just because your team lost, you don't have to make us lose. I didn't make anybody lose. You guys elected not to get over that call. You guys elected also not to play defense for the final 4 to 5 plays of the game after that offside penalty. So check yourself, son. Play some defense. Chances are you probably would have won that game. But you didn't, so it is what it is. So, anyways, don't blame me. Blame yourself, buddy. Have a good one. Anyways, so like I said, Beer Builder Brigade is out. Good finals matchup again. Jagerbomb against All Blacks. I'm really looking forward to calling this game. Who do you have in this one?
I'm gonna go All Blacks. I'm gonna go All Blacks.
Okay.
Defense wins
Okay.
championship. I'm gonna go.
Okay. I know they met earlier in the season. So yeah, you were talking before about the defense, right? They met in week 8. Jagerbomb beat them 44-27. The 44 points were the most that the All Blacks gave up this season. That's why I'm going with Jagerbomb. I think Jagerbomb has the recipe, pardon me, to solve the stellar defense. I think they do it one more time. It's going to be a bit closer this time, but I'm going with Jagerbomb.
Okay. Interesting. Let's move into Division D1 where we have Double Dip versus Nighthawks. And a little shout out to Double Dip. Double Dip is more considered a co-ed team. But look at them now. They jump in Division D1, and they end up having a pretty decent season. And now they're gonna play versus Nighthawks as a like first season, kind of with the. Well, I mean, I believe they played um as a just a men's team, but I don't think this is the first time playing an FPF as a men's team. Usually they just play co-ed. So good looks for them to kind of doing their first year as just a full men's team in Division D1, which is pretty competitive. Kind of finishing their season 5-5, so just in the middle of the pack as the 8th seed, and just kind of grinding it out and making it into a final.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, it's a team I watched last couple of seasons, like you said, mostly usually co-ed. They made the jump to playing in the men's. I believe maybe even last year. Let me double check that. But anyways, taking on a Nighthawks team again. Nighthawks, a veteran team. Fabrice Robillard, Mark Martin, those guys had a chance. So this is another team who started off struggling first couple seasons, and now look, they're playing for a finals, right? They're playing for a championship, and this is a lesson to all the teams struggling out there, mid, even upper, or especially lower divisions, right? Like swallow the swallow the crap sandwich. It's gonna taste like crap. But eventually, ideally, you come out on the other side, and like this Nighthawks team now fighting for the right to become
Yeah,
champion.
yeah.
Um,
Sorry, Brent. Yeah, Nighthawks did struggle a lot in the last previous
yeah,
seasons. They actually struggled. Yeah. Because I'm thinking about it now. Like, no, they were not one of the best. They were not like I don't want to say they were not the greatest teams, but they were adapting how to kind of play together and stuff like that. But no, big shout out to them as well too. The fact that they kind of got now they finally got over the hump and they were in the finals. And I feel like it's a team where they always support all their team kind of towards the party mix and that community and stuff like that. So they always support. They're always at the games. They're always kind of chilling on the field. So the fact now they get to experience their own. I'm sure some of their players did play in party mix as well too. But in fact, now they get to kind of experience their own Division 6 of 6 team, and they finally got to a championship. I find that's pretty cool.
yeah, 100%, man. So look at this Nighthawk squad, right? So let's say Fabrice Robillard, Yvan Solomon, right? One of the leaders on this team. Reginald Prophet, good dude. I like watching this guy play. It's always fun. Stefano De Seta, right? Arguably the best receiver on this team. They got some weapons. They played double dip back so at the end of the regular season, so on August 3rd. So double dip got the 34-30, pardon me, Nighthawks, I should say, pardon me, got the 34-31 win over double dip. So about 19 days later, they'll do battle again. Robillard was great in that first game, 5 TD passes. On the other side, Xavier Perron had 3 TD passes. Nathan Tran, 2 TD catches in that game. Sam LaChance, we just talked about with the All Blacks, plays on this team as well. He had a touchdown catch. Vincent Richard. This team is deep. Both teams, I should say, are actually really deep. Both teams have some playmakers. How do you see this one shaking out?
First, I just want to give a shout out to Ivan. Ivan, I have to say this guy is something else. This guy came up to me before the season started. He's scorekeeping, and he's like, I'm taking a break. I'm not playing on any teams." His words. Okay, that's what he says. He plays. I think he plays a couple games before nationals. Okay, I think maybe he played 2, 3 games for nationals on random teams, whatever. After nationals happens, this guy goes off. He has a great nationals. This guy's playing here. He's playing here. He's subbing here. He's scorekeeping here. Guys are telling him, "Oh, you come play." And then I'm kind of laughing about the situation. I'm like, "Gail, like, so you had your bag ready to play. Like you're telling me you're coming to so you have your scorekeeper bag and you have your bag, your cleats bag, just in case someone needs a sub. Sometimes you
You
get
don't do that?
lucky. Yeah.
You don't do that?
Sometimes you get lucky if there's an air scorekeeper around or something like, oh, you mind just doing the
Yes,
first hour and like,
100%.
oh, you let me play, whatever. This guy, he's played this season, he qualified, I think, for 7 teams to play. He went
Yeah,
from
yeah, 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 yeah.
zero
Yeah.
to play 0 teams to qualify for 7 teams. And I'm pretty sure last night he had 4 semifinal games where I think he won 2 of them. So I think he's
Yeah,
gonna be in I think
yeah,
he's gonna
yeah.
be in like 4 finals this season. But like I was just like, you're a fraudster, first of all. Like you went from saying I'm not playing the games all of a sudden now you're playing 4 championships.
Yep.
Crazy. To kind of go back to your kind of saying, double hit the Nighthawks. I think it's gonna be a good game. I think it's gonna be very intense. I think it's 2 teams that are getting well. Double dip. I think I think they have a bit of more experience regarding the flag world. They're a team that's kind of they play in different leagues. They do a lot of tournaments. They play 7-on-7. So I can't even say like
Yeah.
they're not used to that championship feeling. They've been around a lot. We're in Nighthawks again, a team that's kind of getting out there. They do play on multiple teams. They have a lot of players that play on other teams as well too. So I think they do have the experience. Again, like a player like Yvan, it's good to have. I believe he plays as a rusher as them, and also a receiver. He has a double quarterback option. I don't think he could throw exactly either. So maybe he
No, he
just
can't throw on this.
I think Division Two
No,
one.
he did. No, he threw in the regular season game. He threw.
Okay, so yeah, exactly. So you have a double
Yeah.
double option with him too. So I think that's
Hmm.
big. I think it's gonna also. I think this is gonna come down to who could score who could score the more points. I don't think this is gonna be a defensive game. I think both teams are gonna score, but I think it goes more to the factor who could score more. I'm leaning towards the Nighthawks. I feel like they're the more athletic team, and I think they're going to be able to kind of make bigger plays when it comes down to it. Not saying that Double Dip isn't an athletic team. I think they're a very athletic team. I just think Nighthawks are going to have bigger plays where when it comes down to it, it's going to be a point where they're going to win a game 40-38. 40-39. I feel like we're going to be in a one-score game, and it's going to go
Right.
the advantage towards the Nighthawks. How about you?
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I'm going with the Nighthawks as well. I think they have the slight edge there athletically, and I think I trust their defense a bit more. Um, Yeah, just again, Salmon, Ivan's gonna play probably center field, right? He's gonna play that deep safety position. Anything that goes deep, he's gonna get on his horse and get back to make a play as he usually does, right? I mean, this guy, there's not too many players who are better playing that deep safety role and FPF than him. They actually looking at it right now. They have so actually, well, Double Dip actually has a better defense, but again, Yvonne's Yvonne. Yeah, I'm going to give them the slight edge. I think as well it's going to be a close game. I won't be surprised if Double Dip ends up with the W. I think it also depends on Fabrice Robillard. Again, he's a guy who used to struggle playing quarterback. He's gotten better and better. Can he protect the ball? I mean, he had one INT last time. That's not so bad. If he can protect the ball and not have any turnovers, I really think Nighthawks will get the W here.
Okay. Let's move on to. Sorry, I have the picture here. We're
Yeah,
we're gonna go
co-ed three.
to co-ed 3. So we have back that pass up versus Phantom Troop, which again I think
Yeah.
that's gonna be a
Yep.
pretty. That's also gonna be a really good game both of these
Oh
teams.
yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
guess maybe talk about some both of these teams. I mean, I think you saw Phantom Troop a bit.
Yeah, I've seen Fatou True play a couple times this season. I scored kept them a couple of times recently in Brassard. Chelsea Brent, I've talked about her a lot. I think maybe she's like 5'1", 5'2" at the most, but she's a strong arm. She's not afraid. She will throw deep or she'll throw at anybody. Like she does not care. Dakota Scott, shout out to Dakota. Uh, Speed beyond speed. Could she be our winner for fastest female? Stay tuned to the end of the episode to find out. They got some weapons on the squad though, man. Like the games that I've scored kept, like I came away impressed. They have some players who could really get deep, guys and girls. It's not just the fellas, it's the ladies as well. Noella Simba could get on her horse. Obviously, Kenny Joseph saw him play a lot last night. For the Bullion, Roddy Ismias, like they have some players. Aya Faridi as well, and Dakota, right? She can get up there and make some plays. I look at the other side, right? Like we look at this like that pass to obviously Sanders is the head of the snake on this team. I was shout out to Brianna's girl. Happy belated birthday too, by the way, to her. They have some weapons on the squad, right? I'm expecting a high scoring back and forth game. I think it's going to come down to who commits the least amount of turnovers. Like I said, Britain does like to take some D shots, but when you have a guy like Sanders back there, he's going to be looking to get some INT, so she can avoid uh, not throwing his weight so much, but she can avoid turning the ball over. Essentially, I honestly think Phantom Troop's going to come out with a W. Pardon me.
Yeah, the issue with Sanders is a big body, so I think that's more the
Yeah,
factor where like he takes a
yeah,
lot of the field away, and when you're like when you're a women's quarterback, sometimes your deep ball is not as effective because it takes longer to kind of get to where you want to be. And as Sander has being a big body, it's
right,
like you can't just kind of put it over the top because he's there compared to like a short defender
yeah,
like me, where you
yeah,
can sometimes you kind of can slide that in where like okay he's not going to be able to get there, but with Sanders is fast, he's big and he's tall. So it's the fact where it's like the trifecta where he kind of has all that going for him. Where when it comes to certain quarterbacks, where you think you can sneak one in there and it ends up being a pick. One thing I do have to say is that Sanders did get hurt on Tuesday. He ended up hurting his knee, so there is that in the Vultures game. And then when it comes towards the Lego My Flag game, he couldn't really bend it left and right. So from what he
yeah,
told me, he's taking a nice little spa date with him and his girl. So hopefully they
yeah.
kind of cure him up. He's also off of work for a bit too for the next couple of days too. So hopefully he relaxes, ices up, and kind of sees how it goes. But again, like when it comes to injuries, when it comes to knees, sometimes it takes longer than expected. Maybe he'll
Yeah.
soup up, maybe he won't soup up. We'll have to wait and see. But I definitely don't think he's going to be at 100%. So the fact that if they're missing Sanders, I think that's going to be a big it's going to be a big miss for them. And I also think it's to a point where if the quarterback for Phantom, if she kind of decides to just kind of like take the flats and kind of let her players kind of work, I also think it's going to be a big advantage for them because I think regarding the Phantom side, I think they have more athletic players that can kind of do more, that can do so much more damage in the short game compared to the long game where she doesn't have to force anything. And if if Sanders is absent and he's not there, I think that's going to be a huge effect in this game. So I'm going to
Oh
go
yeah,
towards Phantom Troop as well. Just the fact that
yeah.
I don't think Sanders, I personally don't think he's going to play. And I think if he does play, he's not going to be 100%.
No, 100%. I mean, Sanders like when so they met in week three. Phantom drew 133-30. Sanders had two TD receptions. That was Jason Rossi, the quarterback, put his back to pass up squad. I mentioned Dakota Scott, right? She had 3 sacks. And again, the defense from Usman, Usman to Jalal, he had a pick six, right? I mean, Rossi's gonna have to protect the ball. Rossi loves to throw deep. Rossi will test out that defense, but I think they have the speed and the size to get deep. Talking about fast, Fred Dodd as well, another stud receiver on this team. Yeah, Sanders doesn't play, or right now he sounds maybe 50-50 at best. That's a huge advantage. Because if I look at this back that pass up team, I mean, the other guy with speed on this team with deep speed is like Fabrice Pierre. He's a smaller guy though, right? So you're gonna have to ask some of those players on defense, the Jasmine Rossi, Sabrina Renault, whoever, Vanessa Pierre, to have to cover some of these deepest big receivers for Phantom Troops. Like I said, Chelsea Britton will throw it and throw it often, and she'll be throwing it deep. I have even if Sanders plays, I have Phantom Troop winning this contest.
Okay. Let's move to the last game of the night for the Saturday. I believe that's going to be Division E1, where we
Yes,
get
sir.
we get the teams get armed robbery
Yep.
versus Toon Squad. So we have the number
Yep.
one seed versus number three seed. A lot of familiar faces with both of these teams. We have Toon Squad again. Toon Squad has been in this league for a pretty long time. They actually started an FPF Junior, where some of these kids pitch. Some of their pitchers are actually the pitchers of their junior pitchers. So that's kind
Yep.
of fun. That's kind of fun to see. And then you have a nice arm robbery team
On
that kind
robbery
of
team.
yes, armed robbery team.
Yeah.
Anyways, that kind of got it. That got assembled by Mike Collard, where he actually did a great job. He actually asked me to play. I think I said before he asked me to play on this team, and I kind of said I can't. I can't play Division E1. One, it's sometimes players are kind of off balance, and it's kind of more aggressive, and it's a bit more dangerous. And it's also the fact that I wouldn't even feel good when I'm scoring touchdowns to a certain point. I'd be like I feel bad about it too, like to a certain extent, playing versus some of his teams. But shout out to him. I mean, he did a great job in recruiting. Their jerseys are pretty fresh too. You know, nothing crazy, nothing too fancy, nothing too plain. You know, just straight to the point. And
Yeah.
the fact that he kind of built this team, and they're making a final appearance right now. It's pretty cool to see. What do you see that's gonna be happening in this game?
Uh, I mean, I think defense is going to kind of be the theme of this game, right? These two teams met earlier, pardon me, in the regular season, back in week seven. Armed robbery won 21-12, right? So not exactly an explosion of points there for either side. Like you said, number one, Toon Squad, 9-1, armed robbery in two. I've seen armed robbery play a lot this year. Armed robbery, despite finishing third, had a better defense, only by 4 points. They led in 207 versus Toon Squad letting in 211. Toon Squad though, right? So I had a chance. So my buddy Alex, big play, Alex Blay, he's on this team, and he was telling me, yeah, it's kind of a team that was kind of put together. He was looking for a team last second, and like, hey, come join us. So he said, hey, why not? Can't blame him. He's a good dude. Underrated player as well. So anyways, Charles Presser, like he's a veteran. He's been in this league for a long time. He's a good dude as well. He's on this team. Like I said, Alex Blaze on this team. They got some weapons. They got some weapons. I think, to be honest with you, like this, I don't know if we're gonna get 21-12 again because again that wasn't the greatest offensive showing. I think both teams are better than that offensively, despite the fact that they have really strong defenses. I'm gonna roll. So Garner, I won't like Garner Ross. I don't know that much about him. He's a quarterback I have not seen play all that much. Um, I know Mike a little bit. He's a good dude. I've seen him play more than Garner Ross. I've seen Ross play, I think, about 2 games over the last like 2 seasons or so. Mike's offense isn't complicated. It's a lot of dinking and dunking. He uses his athleticism to help guys get open in that. He's not going to beat teams too often with the deep ball because that's not a strong point. Um, I, Arm robbery has a speed advantage, and I want to say they have maybe the better weapons from top to bottom. Toon Squad though, I feel like Toon Squad is a more refined team, whereas Arm Robbery is just a lot of speed and skill and toughness. Because you're on a team with Mike, you got to be tough. I don't know. I'm gonna say Arm Robbery, but I think it's gonna be a close game. I'm gonna say Arm Robbery 25-21.
Okay. No,
Or
I'm
20,
complete. I completely
24.
agree with you. I think it's going to be a very close game. I am going to give Arm Armory the benefit of the doubt of winning this game. I think they have
Yeah.
just a slight more. I don't want to say talent. I don't want to say. I just think they're just a slight better. But I think this game.
Mhm.
I think we're gonna have a. I think we're gonna have a overtime in this game, where Arm Armory is gonna win overtime.
Yeah, it's possible for sure. It's possible for sure.
So I'm gonna.
All right.
I'm gonna give it there.
I was gonna say that wraps up the Saturday portion of our schedule. Again, we have 9 games on the Saturday and 9 games on the Sunday. So again, this armed robbery Toon Squad games. Last one of the night and Saturday starts at 10:20. So make sure you check that one out. Switching gears to Sunday now. So Sunday we have some big time games as well, just like we had on the Saturday. We have the same thing Sunday. We kick things off in Division D2. Super Saiyans. So Super Saiyans, a team again that has got here due to a little bit of a forfeit slash cap violation. They're taking on Richter BFO to kick things off again. 11:40 on Sunday, same start as Saturday, but this time Sunday on Field 1 in Broussard. Again, Division D2 kicking things off. What do you expect out of this game?
One thing I just want to say, I think it's going to be a very good game. I want to give a shout out to Super Saiyans, the fact that they are having such a bad season the previous last season, and then all of a sudden now they're making a finals. It's always good to see a team struggling and they kind of get over the hump and they kind of just push through it. I do think the fact that I think they finished the bottom. I think they finished eighth, right? I think they barely got in for Super
Yes,
Saiyans.
yes, they needed some help to get. Yeah, yeah. I was talking to Jordan. So Jordan Allard, the quarterback and the captain of this team, I was talking to him 2 weeks ago. And yeah, they had to win their last game and then get a bunch of help. They got some of that. I think there was a forfeit involved in that as well. So by hook or by crook, Super Saiyans are in the finals.
Yeah, like literally a real not a Cinderella story, but they needed a lot to kind of get over that hump. You know, like
Yeah.
it's the point where you're kind of like you're frustrated. You're like, hey, we need this team to win, this team to lose. We have to make sure these many points are scored. Like they made it work, you know. And then when it came playoffs, they kind of just balled out, and it's to a point where we always talk about it. When you hit playoffs, it's a whole different game. Doesn't matter if you go 3-7. Doesn't matter if you go 4-6. Doesn't matter if you go 10-0. No one remembers that. No one remembers the team that went 10-0. Like no one's like you won a championship. Oh, that team went 5-5. They won a championship. No, it's that team won a championship. You know, so it's nice to kind of see that they finished the regular season. They got in how they got in, and now they're making a championship appearance. You know, versus a pretty good Richard BFO. Again, I think it's actually going. I think it's going to be a good game, especially if Super Saiyans are playing the way they've been playing during the playoffs. If we kind of see them as they're kind of playing the regular season, I think this game could be a blowout. Hopefully, it's not, but I am going to side towards Richard BFO on kind of winning this game.
Okay, no, it's interesting. I mean, I can't see it wrong off of any of that. I'm not gonna say this is gonna be a blowout either. I've looked at I've watched Super Saiyans the last couple of weeks. I scored kept a couple of their games again. I've won a championship with Jordan Lard. Like he's serious. Like he's a baller. No matter where he plays, he'll make plays. Um, yeah, I want to say. I mean, Richter, right? I'm looking at this Richter squad. I mean, they're the better squad. I'm not going to try to cast any aspersions here. They're definitely the better squad here. I don't think anyone could say otherwise. I mean, you got Nick DeMallo, you got Adam Malinoff, right? You start with those two alone. and it's better than most combinations in pretty much almost every division, right? You got Scott Binge. You have a veteran on the squad. Yeah, I I want to go Richter BFO, but I think this game will be a little closer than what people think. I know a lot of people think Richter BFO is going to come in there and blow their socks off. Yeah, I don't know about that. They met in the regular season. Richter BFO actually won 46-26 back in week 10. I think Super Saiyans will be better uh, because of that game, right? I think it'll be a little bit closer. Again, I still have Richter BFO getting the win, but I think it'll be a little closer than 20 points this time around.
Okay, interesting. Interesting.
All right.
I actually, sorry to kind of go. I think what happened between for the playoffs between Super Saiyans versus Bandits. Sorry. I think what happened was I think Trinity could not play their playoff
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
So we
I can
kind of
tell you.
talked.
Hold on, I can
Yeah,
tell you what
yeah. It
happened.
was that. It was that Trinity could not play their playoff game. So what happens is the 9 seed decided to take the 8 seed spot because they do offer that. So for some reason the 8 seed, for some reason if a playoff team can't do it, they don't just say the other team gets an automatic win. They give it to the
Yeah.
next closer seed to it, and that was Super Saiyans, and they end up playing Bandits, and they end up getting that. They end up winning. They end up beating them that game, which was a huge upset, or they won 28-20. And then after they played Texas Wales and they won 51-36. So for them, they're kind of just they're on a tear right now. They got the opportunity. Shout out to Trinity, because if it wasn't for Trinity, if Trinity decided that they could have played their game, Super Saiyans would never been able to play those 2 games, win it, and be able to play in a championship game now. So kind of shout out to them. But yeah.
So I just want to say one thing. So 100%, I couldn't agree more. I will say, um, I was contacted by Emil Scaff. I mean, this went to the quarterfinals. I mean, last time we filmed the show, the quarterfinals hadn't started yet. Playing Super Saiyans is why I'm trying to tie it in. Emil Scaff, the quarterback for the number 1 seed, he wasn't able to make his game. He had a work commitment. He was telling me,
Mhm.
so they lost 28-20 to the Super Saiyans. He wanted to let me know it wasn't a choke job, just he wasn't able to make it because of work, prior commitment. Life gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah. It happens,
Yeah,
Next man up.
that's it. There you go. All right. So
Uh,
we have women's B,
oh,
uh, Wolfpack Hibu coming at you for the women's championship again. Like I said, in women's B, I think we've talked about plenty of times on this pod, right? Hibu, the top team in the division, 8-2 record. Wolfpack 6-4. One veteran squad, definitely Wolfpack. Have a lot of veterans on their team. Hibu, obviously, a school team, but some veterans on the squad as well. Uh, Again, 6-4 for Wolfpack, 8-2 Hibu. How do you see this game shaking out?
to be honest, I'm surprised Wolfpack is making a final appearance. I just want to kind of say that. I mean, not super surprised. I just thought, for some reason, I thought the originals was going to pull it off here. For some reason, I don't know. I was kind of looking down when it come down to it. I thought the originals were going to beat La Sortie, and
Yeah.
they end up losing, and then I was like, oh, okay, maybe Supernova's gonna be able to win a game here, but they end up losing in the semifinals. So the fact is, Hibu, I knew they were making the finals no matter what. As soon as I kind of watched them play in that roster, they're doing the double quarterback, triple quarterback, running left, right, reverse, give. I was like, no, it's like to the point where you can't stop that. You can't. It's like I was telling people there too. I'm like, I was watching the IFFF championship, and I was watching Japan play, and they had an option where quarterback no went sidestep to one quarterback, went backwards past the other quarterback, went to a reverse to a read option run. I was just like, and it was clean as it could be. I was like, how do you even
Mhm.
stop that? It's like schoolyard bullshit, but like professional schoolyard bullshit. So like again, when I was watching the Hebo thing, I'm like, there's no team 5v5. No team is like you. Either you're unless your defensive coordinator is a genius and he's prepared and he knows what to do and he tells the girl to shoot here, shoot there when you see that. But in most situation, like teams see that and they're just like they literally look at the coach and their hands are up like this. So I knew Hibu was going to be one of the teams, but I honestly thought the originals were able to pull this one out. But whatever. It's Wolfpack versus Hibu. I'm personally going to go Hibu. I don't think Wolfpack is a veteran team. Uh, again, we used to usually kind of see Wolfpack versus Chaos. We kind of talked about that. I think that was kind of rivalry where Wolfpack always end up playing Chaos in the semifinals, and Chaos always usually beat them, and they kind of knocked them out
Yeah.
for that championship to be able to get into the championship. So I think this is the first season where Wolfpack kind of got over the hump, and now they get to play in the championship finals, which was pretty cool for them. Now they get to kind of have experience to see how they're going to do. But I just think Kibu's offense is going to be way too much for that Wolfpack defense, even though they're a bit veterans and they've been playing with each other for quite a while. I just think the misdirection going left and right. I think it's going to just be a bit too much for the Wolfpack, and Hebo is going to take this one by double digits.
It's interesting 'cause, I mean, both teams met twice in the regular season. Both games ended in blowouts. Hebrew winning 32-13 in week two, but then Wolfpack blowing out Hebrew 26-7 in week four, right? So two blowouts, one per either side. Um, if you would ask me a couple weeks ago, is Hebrew going to win the championship? I would say absolutely. Are they still the favorites here? Yes. Although the veteran experience side goes with the Wolfpack, I don't think that doesn't count for nothing. Like I think that matters here. The question is, can this veteran squad get enough stops of this Hebrew offense? Again, we've talked about the Hebrew again. The thing that makes them so versatile, so special, I guess you could say, is the fact, right? Whether it's Cassio Peleme at quarterback or Laurent Stagno, both those ladies could put us in place. Stella
Yeah,
Crevier as well. Stella Crevier
but
actually might be the better quarterback.
what one
Or
sorry,
sorry,
one thing, Brent, when Hebu lost versus Wolfpack, they didn't have
yeah.
either quarterbacks. Emily Adam played as quarterback in that game.
Okay, so but Emily Adam has experience with this Hebrew squad, right? She's a former member of the team, and she's not a scrub. So
Yeah,
I hear you saying,
but she's a
but
their off if their offense is not the same offense that they run with
true,
Emily. Emily's a
true,
kind of sit in
true,
the pocket and she throws it. She's not going to be doing those reverses. It's a whole different scheme where it becomes Emily. Emily's
true.
great. Don't get me wrong. We've seen her play for Hebo for the past couple years, but when you change your offense where you're like, okay, well, we're doing this and then now you're doing this, it does kind of change the aspects how things work.
True.
But
True. Uh, win's a win. I hear what you're saying, but a win's a win. I will say though, like again, can the Wolfpack slow down? So we talked about this girl for a while now, and Kaku. Like I honestly think this could be blasphemy. I think she's been their best receiver, or just the best offensive player in this division the entire year. She gets the ball. She runs like the wind. She's fast as heck, and she gets the ball in her hands in so many creative ways. She'll get hands. She'll get a handoff. She'll get a pitch. She'll get a bomb. She'll get a hook, a slant, and she can deco tacklers left, right, and center and score a touchdown. I haven't seen anyone stop her yet, and I don't think this Wolfpack defense can. So then the trick is going to be, can the Wolfpack let her do her damage, or at least try to limit her damage, but not let anybody else wreck them in at least with the offensive game plan. So talking about Eleanor Lacasse, Beatrice Dubois, Lawrence Gagnon. So she ends up not throwing. She's going to be a quarterback. Leanne Lafreniere, right? They have weapons. This Hebrew team. This Hebrew team is deep. And so can the Wolfpack again with all the veterans on the squad? Can they find a way to slow down or limit this Hebrew offense? I think that for me, that's going to be the biggest question.
yeah, I also do have to say Wolfpack's defense is good. I didn't realize that they had Abigail Perrault as well eligible to be playing with them, and they have
Elodie Seminole as well,
Elodie
man.
Simmerno is really good as well too. I didn't know they were
Yeah,
both. I thought it was either or like for the cap situation. I thought if she wasn't
yeah,
there, that's
yeah,
why
yeah.
Abby was there. But I saw them both play versus Supernova. So I mean, to have again Abby Perros, I think she's one of a really. I would think she's one of the best DBs as well too. I think she's really good. So the fact to kind of have both of them there is gonna be, I mean, Elidor Simon plays offensively and Gabby plays defensively. But to kind of have both of those players there, I think that does make a huge difference. But I'm still gonna give it to Kibu. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna switch up like that, but it does make a difference.
All right. I'm gonna go. I was really on the Cebu bandwagon. I don't want to hop off now, but I look at the postseason. I think obviously Wolfpack being emerged and they beat Supernova, whereas I think the originals who I thought would be in the final for sure. I think them losing to the sorority is huge because then he will have a much easier time in the playoffs taking on no offense to sorority, but they beat them 38-12. I'm gonna say I want to say the Hebrew. I want to say the Hebrew. I don't want to say. Yeah, oh, you know what? Hebrew in overtime. There you go. Hebrew
There
in
you go.
overtime.
We love overtime in finals. We love it.
Damn right. Hell yeah.
All
All right.
right. So
Quarter
next
one.
up, code one. We get
Yes, sir.
Lego My Flag versus Tea Party. Both of these
Yeah.
teams played their semifinal matchup last night. As I'm a player for Lego My Flag, we end up winning our game versus the Woo. Um, we end up winning our game, and then Tea Party ended up beating the Merge. So last night, so both of those teams won their respectful games, and then they're playing versus each other in the finals. What do you
Yeah, man.
what are you expecting from? Because you already know my input. I can't really say much. Like I'm going to go for my team. So
Look at the
what's your
rules.
what what's your input in this? What's going to be happening in this game? What do you think is going to happen?
I mean, I expect another great game. I mean, listen, I mean, a lot of the names like yourself, Ben, Jeff. I mean, you guys have been playing with and against each other for like a million years, right? It should be Phil Roberts. It should be to the surprise of no one. I caught a bit of that Tea Party game last night. It was a game going on behind me while I was scorekeeping. Kevin Donnet, right? Obviously, a big part of their team. His cousin is Ben. Again, I expected a really entertaining game. Lego My Flag is a better team here. I think I'm not insulting anybody by saying that. I think uh, most people could agree with that as well. Again, not to say that Tea Party doesn't have weapons. I mean, so yeah. So GG, obviously, you can build Bonte, quarterback. You have Constance on that team. You have Dante on the team, right? There are some weapons. There are some playmakers on the Kevin Dunn, who I mentioned before. Leah Bigler, I believe she's eligible as well, right? So there's some playmakers on this Tea Party squad. It goes without saying, right? I'm not going to act like there's not. But you look at Lego My Flag. So Lego My Flag. So regular season 6-4 for Tea Party. You guys only finished 3-7. But I want to go through it here. So there's you, there's Jeff, obviously. There's Adam Malinoff on the team. So there's Sanders. I mean, we don't know how much he's going to be able to play. There's Maya DeFazio. I cut over for a little bit before your game. There's Lara, who's looking for the championship. But Lara might be the luckiest person alive. She almost blew out her knee yesterday. Uh, Player went through the curtain. She was walking, not suspecting anything because you can't see through the curtain. And someone hit her right in the knee. Phoebe, who's also on the team, shout out to Phoebe, told me about it. Lara apparently was laying on her stomach for a couple minutes, got back up, talked to her after. She seemed to be fine. So lucky break right there for her. And yeah, I got Jalen Greaves as well, right? I mean, you guys have the better weapons, and I'm going with you guys to get the W.
Okay. Yeah, I agree too. I just don't. My biggest aspect of this game, I don't think anyone in Tea Party could cover Jalen. I mean, he's
I
definitely
don't think
top.
anyone period can cover Jalen. That's
Yeah,
besides the point.
he's exactly. And I think when we just played IG team. He won five. I think he scored five touchdowns, 6, 7 catches, 100 and something yards. Jeff came back in the huddle after scoring touchdowns. He's like, sorry if I'm only passing the ball. I'm like, Jeff, I don't care who you pass the ball to. You can pass the ball to a ghost as long as the ghost scores touchdown for us. I'm taking it. You can throw me. I can have 0 targets as long as we win the game. I
Thank
do
you.
not care. And then he goes, oh, okay, Jalen post quarter. and he throws the ball to him, he scores. Like, that's how I see it. When it comes to play regular season, okay, maybe like, feed him the ball, let me get an exercise here and there. Playoffs,
Yeah.
I don't care what
And,
happens.
and
As long as we win, I'm happy.
Max.
I'm there, It's when we don't win, then you got like, yo, throw me the ball, throw me the ball. But if we're winning and we're scoring, I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm happy. But I think it's gonna be a good. I think it's gonna be a good game. I just think again, you're kind of saying I think we do have more the more of an athletic team. But again,
Yeah.
you have Ben. Ben does Ben things sometimes, when he's under center, and they have good players, So if it's to a point if we don't come in with our A game, we definitely get a slap in the face. But if both teams, I feel like both teams play how they could play, I'm gonna give. I'm biased, but I'm gonna give the advantage to my team. But yeah, so code one.
Yeah.
Let's
100% makes
move.
sense.
Let's move to code two.
Sure.
So
So we
code
got the
two.
match. Go,
Yeah, go
go
ahead.
for it.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the matchup. We have Brent Pecans,
Mm-hmm.
Ben team, against Plenty of Fish.
Again, plenty of fish. Great game last night. They ended up. Now I'm blanking who they played against, but I was watching it back and forth. They played. Um, I'm gonna just
They
pop it
beat
up
Double
here.
Dip.
Yeah, double dip. Yes, yeah, that was a very good game. That was a good. That was game back and forth. I kept seeing Theo. Theo has this thing when something good happens, he goes like, he has this fist thing. He's just like, "Let's go!" And like you kind of can see it. So I saw him. He kind of did it from across the field. He's doing it a couple times, and they end up winning that game. Very close game. I think they were up by 9 at one point, so they were kind of pulling away. But I think the game finished 45-46
No,
ish.
I think 48, 48, 46.
Okay, yeah. So very high scoring game. Again, we talked about plenty of fish. They've been dominating. Hmm?
No, sorry, I was looking at the game recap, how the
Hmm.
game ended.
Yeah, they were dominating. Plenty of fish dominated all season. Double Dip's a very good team. They've been playing co-ed with each other for a long time, so I'm not surprised that they end up into the semifinals. And the fact that they lost it, I'm not surprised as well either, because Plenty of Fish is a team where they struggled in Division 1, but I think Division 2. I think they're also way too good for Division 2, but I think they're like a Division 1.5. But at the end of the day, we don't have 1.5, so two it is. So good shout to them. And then Benicron, Benchicons, the Ben's team, they end up getting a forfeit. So
Yeah.
yeah, so they pretty much, congratulations, you guys made it to the finals. But again, that team is also pretty good as well too. I remember Ben was
Yeah.
telling me the roster of that team. I'm like, there's no way you guys are going B. And he was like, oh no, like he's like, it fits B. And I'm just like, your team is disgusting. They end up going 7-3, but I mean they finished top three with there's three ties between Block Party, and Double Dip. So I mean they had a great season. They scored the most points, 408. I believe Brent won QB of the year as well too. I think his QB stats was actually disgusting. Kind of looking at it, 57 touchdowns, 3 INTs, completion rate 71. His QB rating is 132. So he had a disgusting year if you think about it. Uh, and so it's going to be very interesting to see these two teams play. I do know Plenty of Fish they have a really good rusher. They use McLaren.
Yes, Julian McLaren
Yeah,
Thompson.
exactly. So
Yeah.
he's long, he's fast. I know this team, they played versus each other in the regular season where Plenty of Fish got the overhand of Ben. He kind of kept him in his place, didn't let him do Ben things. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that's gonna plan out. I do have to say that I think this is gonna be Ben's one of his first games he plays, so he's gonna have those fresh legs, compared
Yeah.
to Ben also plays on 7,000 teams. So I think he's gonna be more prepared for this game. I think this game is gonna be very interesting, but I am gonna side more towards. I'm gonna go. I think it's a toss up. To be honest, I think this game is one of the toss up, but I'm gonna go Plenty of Fish here.
Okay, so interesting. Okay, so you talked about Ben, right? Obviously, six seasons, first in completion percentage, first in touchdowns, first in passing yards. So I can tell you who was second in touchdowns and second in passing yards. That was Mo Lacoste, the quarterback
Hmm.
for Plenty of Fish, right? So
Only
as
eight
far
games
as
played too.
sorry.
Only 8 games played too.
Yeah, yeah, what I say? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dylan Taylor, who plays receiver, also plays quarterback on his team. Yeah, so Mo Lacoste again doing Mo Lacoste things as well, right? Um, yeah, I like this matchup. You talked about Theo, right? Theo in that semifinal matchup against Double Dip, 6 catches, 113 yards, and 3 TDs. Theo J is one of he's on the Mount Rushmore of FPF players. Obviously, you find Kevin Wyeth under as well, and some people may say Joe Mahu, some people may say this one, that one, or George Garapi, whoever you want. When you make a Mount Rushmore of FPF players, COJ has to be on that Mount Rushmore. Dylan Taylor, who I talked about, 2 TDs in that game, so he obviously was doing Dylan Taylor things as well. And you talked about that defense, right? So they have some ballers, right? You talked about obviously the rusher, Julian McLaren Thompson, Maggie Gervais, Sugar Ball, Theo as well. He had an INT. He's there. Alessandro Daniel, we talked about earlier. He's on his team. Annabelle Crevier, Maurice Paquette, Seth Galina as well, right? One of the underrated players, I think, in all of FPF period the last decade, I want to say. This team, they have tons of chemistry. Should they be in co-ed one? I think they should, but or co-ed 1.5, like you're saying. They've had a lot of battles together, the squad. I have full confidence in them. Ben obviously has put together a great team. I mean, you don't make the finals by having a team who can't get it done, or a team who's weak at least. And obviously Ben has a solid squad. I'm gonna go with plenty of fish. I think again this Brent Pecan's team, right? They were 7-3 this season. Plenty of fish was 9-1. I think Plenty of Fish is the better team, and the records back it up as well. Not taking anything away from some of the players on Ben's squad, right? Abigail Perot, Alyssa Goulet, like those ladies can ball. I've seen them play Eloise Lafayette. They have my main man Phil Roberts, Jaden Edgehill as well, underrated. Joanna's younger brother. They got some ballers on this team. I just think um, Plenty of Fish has a better, deeper squad, I guess you could say, and that's why I'm going with them.
Okay, makes sense. Let's move on to co-ed 5v5. We have Airbuds versus the IG team. Again, I'm biased, so I'll let you say your opinion on what's gonna happen between these two teams.
All right, so man, yeah, always with the IG team, right? Listen, hey, it is what it is, right? No Jean Lee, no Jordanson. I know Jordanson. I believe I was told he was in attendance last night to join the squad, so it's good on him. He's coming out to support the team. But again, I'll give the IG team credit. Along with many other people, thought with the suspension for the rest of the year of both Jordanson and Jean Lee, this team would make the playoffs for sure, right? Before those guys were gone,
Yeah,
they
they're
didn't
good.
need
Yeah,
to. They were in first place, right? Credit to the IG team though. Without them, like Philip Borsel's taking over and Gucci's taking over, like these guys, they went undefeated to finish off the regular season 2-0. Not a huge stretch, but I mean, not a huge sample size. But again, they finished the regular season 2-0 without the Alexi brothers. And we saw in the first round of the playoffs, right? Well, so they had the first round bye actually. So second round quarterfinals, they laid a beat down 31-18 on maple syrup, whereas Airbus, you guys laid a beat down on Tuesday. Actually, sorry, last night. I think I score kept both games. So I score kept the Tuesday Airbus game. I score kept your
yeah,
game. So yeah, this is a great matchup between the two top teams, right? They finished first, you guys finished second. I'm trying to remember the regular season. So I know you guys got whooped by them in week 3. They beat you
yeah.
43
We got destroyed.
uh, to 12. Yeah. So yeah,
Sorry.
they beat you
Yeah,
43 to 12. But then you guys whooped them when you played them in week 11, right? So back on August 1st, you guys whooped them 32 to 13, right? So this is like the ultimate rubber match between again the two top teams without a shadow of a doubt in this division. Um, I look at it though, it's going to come down to who can get enough stops on defense, right? Let's call a spade here. You're running the defense of your team. You're gonna have to take away some of the speed of this team, right? So I mean, like the Alexi brothers are gone, but Fritz Senatus is still there, right? I think Fritz Senatus and obviously Gucci are the two top players on this team. They work hand in hand together. You're gonna see some handoffs. You're gonna see some pitches. You're gonna see some dink and dunks. Philip Borsell, right? Another guy who could come in there and make some plays anywhere you put him, specifically at quarterback as well. I'm looking forward to this game. Heidi O'Connor Lynch, I talked about before plenty of times this season, and she has been phenomenal. She's a snapper on this squad. Charlene Vixamar as well, really good player coming to her own. I know obviously they lost, like I said last night, they lost Victoria Bouchard. So then that's going to be a bad injury for her again with her thumb. I don't think she's going to play. But yeah, Marika Bouchard. Marika Bouchard is actually a bigger, thicker player who has a lot of speed. She's really underrated. I find she's one of those players doesn't get talked about a lot, but I've seen her play. Like she can ball, and Yvonne Solomon as well, right? So I think both of you guys have fantastic squads. Uh, I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick the Airbuds just because I think your defense is just a little bit better, of course, with the Alessi brothers not being there. And I think obviously Jeff, listen, watching Jeff play a lot, especially over the last 2 years, right? Like he's gotten better and better. Before teams would win championships in spite of him. The
hmm
last year or two, teams are winning championships because of him.
yeah,
I think that matters.
yeah. No, I think again, I think it's gonna be a good game, but I think we have the upper hand when it comes to that, and especially last night. So last night, I don't know if you realized, but last night we played on defense. We played just me and Jalen, and we had three girls because we were
Yep,
missing Isaiah. So
yep,
Isaiah's
it's true.
back. Isaiah's back. Isaiah's gonna be back on Sunday, so I think that's gonna also be better for us. I'm not saying that Rachel, the girl that was rushing
Rachel Shea,
for
yeah,
us,
Rachel Shea.
yeah,
She's
yeah, she
good,
did.
man. She is
Yeah,
good.
she did a great job. Like no disrespect for her. Like she did a great job on Sonkin last night. But again, Isaiah, Rachel. I mean, there's a big difference between both of the players.
Yeah,
So I mean, it's gonna be nice to kind of have Isaiah have that big body with us for a championship run.
100%. And of course, the question for the last game we talked about is who's going to cover Jalen. Will it be Fritz the whole game? Will it be Philip? Will it be Gucci? That's going to be the interesting matchup. Who's going to try to cover Jalen Graves the entire contest?
Yeah, and remember we just played versus these team in 6 versus 6s, and Jalen went off for 5 touchdowns and hundred something yards. So I mean, I think Gucci was on him. So I think Fitz is probably gonna have to.
It better be Fitz this time
Yeah,
around. Yeah,
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 exactly. Looking at it now, we're gonna go to Women's Day where we get to see the Birds play versus the
yep,
Knicks. So
yes, sir.
the top two teams we're kind of talking about. We talked about the Knicks pretty much all year long. We kind of said, are they won their first game? Oh, like okay, won their second game. Okay, won their third game. You know, they're winning games. Where I was like, oh, is this gonna be a thing? Are they gonna have a downfall? But look at them now. They made the playoffs. They end up playing Chaos in the semifinals, and that was not pretty at all. Like it was just domination from start to finish. And don't get me wrong, the difference between I feel like the Chaos and Knicks is that Knicks are practicing. Knicks are practicing 2 or 3 times a week. Like they're a real. I'm not saying Chaos is not a real club team because I think they want to kind of get there, but their players have responsibilities. You know, they have lives, they have jobs. I think the
Got
Knicks are a
jobs,
bit
yeah,
they have I think the Knicks are a bit younger. A lot of the girls are still in school. So they have that
yeah, yeah,
free
yeah.
time where they could go practice at from 7 to 9 p.m. or 8 to 10 p.m. Like, you know, like it's a commitment thing. And you kind of saw it from start to finish. Regarding the defense, was swarming. Ali, she had a good start, but it was to a point where when she won that deep ball, those 50-50 balls went towards the Knicks and those led to interceptions. Like at the beginning of the game, it wasn't that bad, and it came to a point where I think Ali was getting kind of frustrated, throwing the ball up, ended up being a pick. Some of the picks were kind of disgusting, and even when the offensive side, Athena Ryan ended up getting hurt back a month ago in Sherbrooke, and she was kind of I think it's she's nursing her hand, so they've had a couple other quarterbacks come in, and finally they used the medical note, and they have Fazio as their
Yeah, the
quarterback.
fast one,
So
yeah.
again, that's a great pickup for them. So I believe I believe she's gonna be the starting quarterback for them for that final game. But again, it was just pretty much domination from start to finish. So congrats to Knicks to kind of getting there, and then the Birds end up playing what's the team called?
Purple Heat.
Purple Heat, which I was surprised they ended up
Number
winning
two
that game
seed.
because
Yeah.
Purple Heat did have a big roster. They did have the roster. They had Condon as a quarterback too. So it's not like they did not have a quarterback, but Birds end up pulling it out. And now we get a matchup between Birds and the Knicks, which is going to be interesting to see. If I'm choosing a team to win, I'm gonna go slightly toward the Knicks. I think they're just a bit more athletic and just a bit more on the communication side. I think the only reason if the Knicks don't kind of finish this off with a championship season is if Maya kind of struggles just because she's kind of getting used to the system of playing with these girls.
Yeah, it's true. That is that's going to be a big factor, obviously, right? Like she's a talented quarterback. She's one of the most talented females playing, period, regardless of position. But you don't have a lot of chemistry with a team that could come back to bite you. Regular season wise, Knicks won both regular season meetings. They won the first one 36-20 in week 5, and then they won the rematch a little bit closer, 20-13 in week 9. So yeah, so let's see if they can get the 3 game sweep. Knicks, listen, they're loaded. Whether or not it's Athena Ryan or not, right? Look at the receivers: Ashley Longier, Lara Zuka, and Nick Benalil. They got Leah Bigra, Shelly Grenier on defense, right? This team has some weapons. Um, I look at the Birds. The Birds they're not a horrible team, right? They have some weapons too. Let me just make that clear. Obviously, Clarence Smith Shaw, right? Usual quarterback. Effie Patrones on the team. Lorianne Bouchard. Like they have some weapons as well. I just think the Knicks are the better team, top to bottom. I think they get the 3 game sweep here. I hope it's going to be close. The second game was closer, and I think that'll be the case this time as well. But I see Knicks completing the 3-game sweep and winning Women's A.
Okay. Next, we have competitive. We're gonna have Party Crashers versus the Braves. Both these teams played their semi matchup yesterday. Party Crashers again destroying us. Infantry. Bloodbath. It was to the point where I think after the 5 minute mark, I almost took off my cleats and said, "Okay, I'm kind of done
Game
playing."
was done. Yeah.
The Braves end up also destroying FlagPlus as well too. That was also their blood math. Alex was appeased, like he got into the red zone and he threw a pick, and I thought it was a convert. I'm like, oh my god, no, he threw a pick in the red zone on third down, and I thought it was like, oh, it was a convert, but it just came to the point
Yeah,
where
that was bad for you
he
too.
just kept doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. I was just like, what's going on here? They end up winning that game 46 to like 12. I don't know. Sorry. 42-6. I mean, it was a blowout, bloodbath. I think that was worse than our game, so I kind of felt bad. I was like, okay, at least we didn't. At least we're not in that situation where we had
Felt
a
a little
chance
better
to.
about yourselves, man.
We kind of had a maybe a little last little fight in us if we end up scoring that touchdown and get that 2 point convert, because it would have been a tie game and everything would have turned. But instead, we got stopped, and then they scored, and they got the convert by 15, and then the game was pretty much over after that. But regarding Party Crashers versus Braves, I think this is going to be a good game, depending if Party Crashers could come with the same roster that they had against us on yesterday. I don't think they're going to be physically able to do it because it's their player. They had two guys that are in their season, so I'm not exactly sure if they're going to show up again. Maybe, maybe not so. I'm going to have to talk to Frank and see what's happening. But I'm going to side towards more of the Braves. I think just up and down, athletic wise, talent wise, chemistry wise, I think they're just better. And this is not the same Party Crashers team where we got to see them play. This is not the same Party Crashers team that won a national title. It's different guys. It's not the same players, different quarterback. So I think they're going to
Yeah.
try to manage as much as possible. But I think this game it's going to be a blowout in Party, and Braves are going to win by at least 20 plus.
Wow, funny. Okay, jeez, okay. Interesting. I will say, okay, obviously, and Johnson Leslie's not going to be there for the squad, so that makes a huge difference. The same thing with Brother Jordanson. Again, but for Frankie Hogue, right, he still has a good team. Like Fritz is on the team, you got Gucci on the team. Yeah, Emerson Peterkin obviously not going to be there. So Mamadi Kaba, right? I had a conversation last night, and he put up monster numbers and his team's W. I think I've seen Cabell play a little bit in the winter season and maybe once or twice in the spring. I think he's a top 5 receiver in FPF right now.
Yeah, no, he's
What's your
disgusting.
opinion?
No, he's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
Uh,
big body. He has great hands. He's fast. He's just one of those big guys. You're just like, who's gonna guard him? I would definitely give him
Nobody.
top 5. I think he kind of has to adjust a little bit towards more the flag aspect on getting open. Sometimes I think he's able to. I think he doesn't use that flag, and he doesn't have that flag knowledge yet because he's still fresh in university, right? He's
Tackle guy, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that, but when it comes to just a guy that could get up on the field or do a breaking route or do an out route or just catching a ball, he's definitely top 5, 100%.
Yeah. I know you first touched on the game last night. It's actually a scary moment there. Bakari Barrett, obviously on your team, ended up trying to defend the jump ball to him, and Barrett kind of came down and hit his head on the turf. I saw that right away. So I told Jeff, you got to talk to Constance, shout out to her, went over and made sure Bakary was all right. Obviously, don't want to speculate, but you have to imagine this concussion. He didn't
Yeah,
drive
yeah,
his
100%
motorcycle home.
concussion. Yeah, he didn't even know. He didn't
Yeah,
even know he had his bicycle, and I was like,
yeah,
so you ever see that movie The Nerve? And he's like,
yeah,
and you're like just blindfolded. I'm
yeah,
like that. If you drive your bike tonight, like that's literally gonna be
yeah.
you. You don't even need that at this point. But no, he ended up getting a ride with one of our players. He got home nice and safe. He's fine.
Good,
He's
good,
kind of just
good.
relaxing, kind of just going
Yeah,
through it. You
yeah,
know how concussions are. You're staying in the
yeah.
dark, and you're just like you don't know.
Exact
You're
dark room, no
you're
noise.
blurry. I
Just
do have to say the one thing he did when he got up after that, he was just like he caught the ball, like he was very confused because he told me like he felt like he had it, and when he came down, he just saw blurriness. He didn't know exactly what happened. So
yeah,
yeah, so unfortunately, like that did happen. But again, I have to say he's a dog because most people after like that happening, your first thought is not like, did he catch the ball? Your first thought is like, yo, my head is dizzy, you know. So he was still kind of, he was still like in the game, and then even
Yeah,
after when
yeah.
he got home, he read a message to the guys. He was just kind of saying, I appreciate that you guys like reaching out to me and like asking if everything's okay. He's like, I kind of wish I was able to do more because you know, like Bakari. One thing I have to say with him is like he's when it comes to a player, like he's one of the key parts whatever team he plays on, you know, like he's kind of like the heart and like the soul to a point where he's gonna bring the fire when you need it. When you need an interception, you need someone to make a play. He's one of the guys that kind of does it, and he gets so involved. So like, kind of losing a play like that does make a big difference. But yeah, but he's safe. He's good. He's safe. He's kind of just resting it out, and we'll see if he's gonna be able to play on Sunday. Chances are not that high, but we're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, speedy recovery to him because you're right. He's a good dude. I've had a chance to talk to him the last couple of seasons. Good dude. He's a guy you want on your team, right? Not just because of the speed and the reach and the athleticism, but he's a winner and he's serious and he's a guy. He cares about his teammates and that, and he's a good dude. So, speedy recovery to Bakari. Okay, they laid a whooping. It is what it is. Okay, so looking forward to this game, right? Again, you have the Braves, you have Party Crashers. They split the regular season series. Braves winning in week 4. Party Crashers winning in week 11. I feel like I could be wrong, but I feel like losing Jordanson and Jose to suspension has kind of galvanized all the teams pretty much I think that they played on, right? A lot of these teams people thought they'd be done, losing arguably the two best players, and it's proven to not be the case. I'm expecting an exciting game. Switching sides to the Braves, I mean, listen, the Braves were just fooling around towards the end of the game. They had no reason to take it serious. Will Trottier was throwing quarter touchdowns. Joe Mayu was throwing touchdowns. I talked to Mike Pierce saying during the game, I'm like, do you guys get bored? He's like, nah, you don't really get bored. But he's like, what they're doing is like during the game, they're trying different things. So when they play nationals, when they play other tournaments and that, or the finals for FPF again this weekend, they could try different things. And because he goes, when we play some of these international teams, we're seeing stuff that we haven't seen before. So we need to be creative and show them stuff they haven't seen as well. And they're doing a lot of that last night. I'm expecting a great game. Don't forget, of course, the Party Crash trade looking for revenge. They lost the winter finals in Division A and in 5v5 intermediate to this very same Braves team, right? So Party Crashers haven't forgotten about that. They're going to look for some revenge. Uh, who do you think gets the W here this weekend?
I told you, Braves by 20.
Okay, okay, maybe Braves by 20. I'm excited to see Murphy going against Kaba. Yeah, I, I can't pick against the Braves. I just can't. I told Mike actually told us because he's talking about Will Trache. We've talked about this before. Will Trache could be a quarterback in Division. I'm not going to say Division B or two anymore. Will Trache should be a quarterback of his own team in Division One or Division A or 5v5 intermediate. The man is that good. Like I said, I am looking forward to seeing Murphy against Kaba. I think that's going to be a fantastic, sensational matchup. But yeah, I'm going with the Braves in this one as well.
And then we finish off with Division A, I guess. Division. Sorry,
Oh yeah,
yeah, Division.
there's another one after. There's one after that too.
Oh,
There's
sorry,
Division
sorry,
B
didn't.
after. No,
Okay, sorry,
yeah,
sorry.
we got
Information on
A.
one.
We got A first.
Okay,
We
so
got A.
the next division is Division.
A.
Actually, sorry, I actually played the last one. I'm tripping here. Yeah, so we go into Division A now. We have the Braves versus One Stop,
Again.
where
Yeah.
yeah, Braves again, right? They usually do their. They usually make it to finals for Division A, and for comp. I think it's been a while since they didn't do that. Yeah, Braves versus One Stop. One Stop ended up being Vultures, which was a pretty tight game that I saw, and then the Braves ended up playing ECW, and that was also a bloodbath where
I
you
scored
scored.
kept that game. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, I think we kind of realized that the Braves were going to do what they did to the ECW. I think they kind of played around with them. And then One Stop versus Vultures, we said it. I felt like it was going to be a good game. It was the point where it came down to the end of it, where Ben just couldn't finish. And then we get a matchup between Braves versus One Stop. Braves should have a full roster with their guys coming back from the IFF. I think all their guys should be there now. I think they came back last night or 2 days ago. So that full roster is going to be there. It's going to be interesting to see. We talked about it how One Stop, this is their year, you know. They now
This is it.
they got the semifinals. They beat Vultures. They got up like however they did it. Now they're playing versus a powerhouse Braves that are again Braves they're there to win. They're not going to take it easy. Like at the end of the day, they're trying to win their championship, and One Stop has the chance to kind of not I get yeah dethrone the Braves on Division A. So regarding this game, I think it's gonna be a good game. I'm really hoping that One Stop comes out just firing and just making Braves defense not feel comfortable playing certain positions. Like just go with a straight bomb first plate, test Gabe, test Murphy. Like you don't want to do that, but it's to a point where if you don't test these guys at the beginning, they cheat for those 10-year comebacks, they cheat for those 5-year comebacks because they feel so comfortable not playing the deep like oh this guy's not going to test me. First play, test him, hit a bomb, score a touchdown, and trust me, as a corner or a halfback, when I'm playing corner, especially in certain situations, if you don't test me right away, I'm cheating the whole time. And it's to a point where when you do those quick outs and those quick ins, I'm coming down as a corner where I'm not even short. I'm supposed to be deep, but because you're not testing me, I'm helping my halfback make a play. Where if you hit me on the first place going deep, I'm not coming down anymore as a speeding bullet. I'm playing that 80% I'm deep and then 20 I'm kind of having my eyes towards you. But if you hit me that first play, that's where corners start backing up right away, so they're coming down. So I hope One Stop comes out just firing off the bat because I feel like if they don't do that and they kind of play that short game, Braves are going to take advantage of that and they're going to get turnovers. One Stop's not going to be able to complete because it's midfield, right? It's not like it's 10 yards first down. So I really hope they're going to come out firing because if they don't, I could see the Braves again winning this game by 20 plus.
And I hear you. I don't think you're wrong. They're gonna have to play discipline game. Pardon me. One Stop again. I'm cool with some of these guys on this team. But as we said all year long, right? Like if not now, then when? If not you, then who? Right? This is it for One Stop. They knew going into the season they're probably gonna have to play the Braves for the championship. Well, now here they are,
Mm-hmm.
right? Someone's gonna have to beat the Braves eventually. Michael Caparelli and those guys, again, fantastic quarterback. I think for him, he has to not let the game get too big for him and take what the Braves are giving him defensively. Mix in a couple of deep shots, like you're saying, go after some of these guys. Like don't let the Braves get comfortable on defense because once they get comfortable, the game is pretty much over.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's very rarely that the Braves beat themselves. I'm expecting a great game. Um, I think One Stop has it in them. Part of me to knock off the Braves. I mean, that's it's I don't know. I don't think so, to be honest with you. I hate to dub these guys, but it is what it is with this team, right? Like they're the cream of the crop for a reason. Speaking of the Braves, I think that defensively is, I mean, as much as I talk about the offense, defensively is going to be the big thing, right? For this One Stop squad, they have some studs. They have the studs to match up with the Braves. They Ryan and McNally, obviously, Janai Copeland Lewis, and that Charles Gossett. It's funny because the Braves beat them in week 3, 26-24, and then One Stop beat them to finish off the regular season 43-34. I want to say upset special here. I want to go against One Stop, but I find in the finals picking against the Braves is like throwing money in the air, like literally throwing money in the air and hoping it all lands back in your wallet. Like I think it's a waste, and I'm gonna go with the Braves. I think in this one.
Okay. Well, I mean, I agree with you. Again, I think at the end of the day, I don't want to. I'm not. It all depends how One Stop comes in this game. You know, they're gonna again they're gonna have to come firing. If they don't, they come slow. Braves are gonna take advantage of that, and that's how they are. That's who they are. So again, I'm hoping it's gonna be a good game and not a blowout because that's one thing we don't like to see. We kind of witnessed it last winter. This winter, this happened when Party Crashers played the Braves, and 6v6. Was it fives where they got blue now,
So
or was it
the
six?
5v5 was the blowout. The division A was
Oh,
close.
okay.
5v5 was the
Never
blowout.
mind. Never mind. Okay. So I was about to say we saw it, but no. So hopefully we don't see a blowout. It'd be nice to see a nice close game. And again, if One Stop could kind of do it, I mean, I'm pretty sure I would kind of turn some heads, you know. So we're gonna have to wait and
Yeah,
see.
I think so. I think you're right. Again, there's nothing like an underdog knocking off the favorites. And despite the fact that the One Stop again, they were 9-1 in the regular season, beating the Braves, and the one loss against the Braves as well. Like they're the number one seed. people still view them as the underdog, hence why we're picking the Braves here. Nothing greater than an upset, especially in the finals, right? With all the championship on the line. I'm hoping it's a great game. I think it will be. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
May the best team win.
There you go.
Uh, to wrap things up, we have Division B, Silent Ticklers playing Hard Eight in the final game of championship weekend here in FlagPlus Football. Interesting matchup again. Two teams that know each other extremely well. Hard Eight, the number 4 seed. Silent Ticklers, the number 6 seed. So both teams pulling off a bit of an upset there. So looking at the playoffs, semifinals at least. Hard Eight knocking off Le Petit Carrots in a thriller. I picked you guys. I picked Hard Eight. You guys beat them 41-40 on Monday at Mary Vic. And then a shocker. The number 1 seed, Idaho Ute Pimps, getting blown out by the Silent Ticklers 42-26. So I picked Idaho Ute Pimps. So they definitely, well, Silent Ticklers definitely proved me wrong. Congratulations to those guys getting the upset. Jordan Panetta, 5 TD passes, uh, two to Adam Rosen, two to Dan Mancini in that game. And yeah, they just came out and then they handled their business. Panetta with a rushing touchdown as well. So definitely a collapse by Idaho Ute Pimps. Again, a team that many thought, myself included, were the cream of the crop, and we're at the very least going to make the finals in Division B.
Mm-hmm. I do want to. Actually, it doesn't matter because, like you said, it was a thriller like between our game, but like we were up by 15 with like 4 minutes left in that game, and it was the point where they scored. Like this is what people are like. Oh, it was like because some people did talk like, oh, it was a close game, and I was like, well, not really, and like, oh, well, it ended by 1. I'm like, yeah, well, we were up by 15. Right. They scored, went for an onside kick, got the 2-point convict. Sorry, they scored, went onside kick, got the onside kick, went for a 2-point convert, and we're still not able to come back and win the game because we're up by 15 and they only scored 14. It was the point where they had to stop us to not get a first down on their first drive. And then when they couldn't do that, we just literally, I went quarterback and I ran around like twice and the game was over.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I see that. Yeah.
So like, yeah, the score looked close. Don't get me wrong. It could have looked way worse where we could have stopped them, no onside kick, but it was the point. Remember, like we were in the huddle, we're up by 15, and like when you know a game is done, you're like, oh, this game is over. Like we're kind of there. They scored, and then like they scored, and we're just like, oh, whatever. They got the onside kick, and no one was panicking. We're just like, then they scored again. They got a 2-point convert. We're just like, all right, well, Jeff, get us a first down. Like it's not like.
Yeah, he's picking the first. Yeah, I hear you.
Pick your poison with our
team. Sometimes stuff happens. Bad snap safety or an INT, you never know. But yeah, ideally, you're not going to lose that game. I think the chances are like a 1% of you guys losing that game when you're up by that score that late in the game.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it was still it was a good game. Like I'm not going to give them but like it wasn't as close as what it seems compared to the Silent Tickler game. Where that was completely different. Silent Ticklers was dominating. At one point, at halftime, it was 24-14, and I think they got a stop on the first drive, or they scored, they ended up getting a stop. But, Silent Ticklers played well. They played very good. The fact that they only allowed Brady and his powerhouse team to only score 14 in the first half, it was very impressive. It was only 2 touchdowns, and then they also lived them into the second half as well too. So that was it was nice to see. I mean, I would have rather played Idaho other than Silent Ticklers just because I feel like Silent Ticklers, they're just a gritty team. They'll just keep scratching and clawing and scratching and clawing. And I just think the chemistry between Jordan Panetta and Adam Rosen and Manzini and also Tyson. Tyson as well too. Great defender, and he's playing offensive a bit more too. I just feel like it's a bit better than what Brady has with his group. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a good game between us and them.
100%. I know in the regular season you guys beat them 37-34 in week 10. So obviously, again, you guys are no strangers. You guys are all friends. You, Jordan, Jeff, all those guys. You guys have played again. Damn, I seen he usually plays with Justin sometimes as well, as does Jordan. You guys have played with and against each other the last couple of years. What's one thing you guys think you need to do to make sure you get the W on Sunday?
Get in Jordan's head right away. Like kind of, I got him like it's he's on a guide to like it's hard to get in his head, so it's kind of easier said than done. But just kind of like start barking at him early on. I feel like he's not the easiest person to get under his skin, but kind of like if he makes a bad pass and just like kind of like yo, like if that's not there, why are you passing there? Like I'm a talker when it comes to a certain point. Like I like to yap. So if I could get a little under your skin, I'm gonna do it. So that's definitely something I'm gonna. And it's what after the game, it's all fun and games, handshake, beers, But during the game, if I could get a bat down, or I could get or maybe like a pick, or like anything where I'm close to, even if the guy gets a catch and I deflag him right away, I would be like, next time it's a pick, next time that's a pick, something where you could kind of just get in his face. I think that's like one thing we're gonna have to do because the other guys are kind of like they're a bit unfazed and or they're just not going to talk back. Jordan will get back in the huddle and be like, what the hell is this guy talking about?" And that's what you want to see. You want to kind of see not like he cares, but if he goes back in the huddle, he says something about you. You did your job, and that's the type of player I am. So that's uh that's what we have to do.
Okay, cool. All right. I'm not gonna ask you for a winner in this game. I will pick a winner. I'm gonna pick. Yeah, last time I picked the Scientificals to win a championship, they did.
They actually beat. I think they beat Jeff too, right?
Yeah, they did. They did. Yeah. So that Jeff was in Bangu. No, yeah, no, it was Jeff. No, yeah, it was Jeff. It was Jeff. No, it was Jeff. Um, yeah, why not? Scientificals again. Scientificals again. Yeah, there you go. Scientificals.
Alrighty.
All right. Okay. Yeah, those Hardy guys are jerks. Like Ali Reza said. Quick shout out here. Obviously, last week was the men's and women's the World Flag Tournament, the IFAF that you were talking about before. Obviously, Team Canada, the women's team, they got the W. So congratulations to them.
World
27,
champions.
20. Sorry.
I said world champions.
Yeah, World Championships. Yeah, is that what I said? No, but I said that. My bad. It's World Championships.
No,
Beating
sorry, I
Team
meant sorry. I
USA.
said they're world champions. Sorry.
Yeah. So I'm saying,
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
They
yeah,
said they won. Yes, they won the
yeah.
championship. They beat Team USA 27-20.
Thriller.
The men's winning their game over Mexico, winning the bronze 34-26. Obviously, shout out to guys. They got Breeze, our athlete Breeze Bar, James Drysdale, Guillaume Ballon, Phil Ferrand, Sarah Parker, Sabina Gervais, Catherine Gaumont. The list goes on and on. Jessica Bossy Tappan. All the FPF players involved in Team Canada's men's and women's team. So congratulations to all y'all on getting the job done and representing Canada proud. Obviously, taking a huge step again towards the Olympic berth. I believe actually these championships or
Yeah,
these victories have
it
clinched now.
it
The berth.
qualifies them for the Olympics 2028.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. 2028 games in LA. So congrats to the men's team and to the women's team. I remember talking to Sarah back in the late spring, early summer about it, and she's like, "Yeah, she's working hard. It's been a dream of hers." So, congratulations to again both teams on the ultimate goal, at least so far, of qualifying for the 2028 games. Just yeah, making Canada proud, right? The more representation we have in the Olympics, especially with flag football, again making its Olympic debut, and of course, the more representation we have of FPF. So it's a good thing. Um, I don't know if there's anything crazy you want to hop into. I'm gonna do the player spotlight in a second once it comes up on my phone. But anything you want to get in there?
Well, for the meantime, for the FPF championships, just to let everyone know, the Samuel Champlain, so Champlain Bridge, will be closed southbound. So if you end up listening to this and you decide like you want to go to the FPF championship, and let's say you want to see a game at a certain time, just make sure you're aware. I'm sure if you use waves, that's gonna let you know. But at least you can wear. At least you'll be know. At least you'll know ahead of time, and you kind of prepare yourself and arrange that, especially for players that are playing. That's the worst thing that does happen, especially during around this time. Construction is not fun. I think the same thing happened last year where construction was a problem on the Saturday where they did have a closure. I'm not sure if it was completely closed, but I think it was one lane. So I believe some players did end up showing late. So players did show. I think I forgot what a couple teams complain about it, whatever. So just let you know that it is close. Unfortunately, that kind of sucks for this weekend, just because how the games are spread out, people end up leaving at certain times. So just make sure you plan ahead, leave way earlier than you should, and yeah, that's pretty much
All
us.
right. Oh, 100%. Construction. Montreal's under construction in the entire city, on and off the island. So it is what it is, right? Plan accordingly. Take the Victoria if you have to. I know that's probably what I'll be doing. Player spotlight for week 12. Couple big time performances. We got, so mentioned it before, Leah Bigra for Women's A and Knicks, 91 yards receiving and a touchdown, one INT, one pass deflection. We have so Gab Charles, Dab Champagne, shout out to him with the Braves, nine receptions, 136 yards, four TDs, and an INT on defense. Mia Go- Mia Guyondet, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, from Coed 3 leaves him on the flag. One TD, one INT that should return also for a touchdown. So shout out to her again, leaves him on the flag, Coed 3. Guillaume Boulanger cast to 12, Division C, 163 yards, 8 TD passes. Good job by him. We also have Mirjan Mis well, Mirjan Miskovitsky. Mirjan Miskovsky, sorry, thank you. Marjan Miskovsky, my apologies. 12 catches, 161 yards. Pretty solid. Four touchdowns, one INT, and one sack. So, I mean, pretty much the only thing he didn't do was throw a touchdown pass. Good job by him. Sophia Persuti, 15 completions, 215 yards, five touchdowns. She plays for Knicks and Women's A as well. We have Devin Glover from the Brewers in Division D2, two touchdowns on offense, three sacks on defense. So good two-way player right there. Shout out to him. Chloe Bertorn, pardon me, two TDs on offense, one INT on defense to go along with two pass deflections. She plays for Blue Pod for Women's A. So Rafa Morelli, four sacks, FPF's most wanted, Division B, obviously. And yeah, that is it for the player spotlight for week 12. Ali Wesley said this week 11. Yeah, so week 11, here we go. So I should have done week 11 first, but it's all good. Gabrielle Mongrain from La Sorority, Women's B, seven tackles, three INTs, one pass deflection, and two TDs on defense. Pretty solid. I got to say by her. That's pretty impressive. Jimmy Lee Janvier, 221 yards, seven touchdowns. He was subbing for Speed Academy Division B. Kayana Cheristal for A-Town Black in Women's C, two INTs, two TDs for her, both on defense for the touchdowns. Yvonne Salaman, we talked about earlier, Division D1 with the Nighthawks. Again, they're playing for the championship. He had two TDs in offense and four sacks. Brianna Michelle from A-Town Black, again, Women's C, five receptions, 103 yards, three touchdowns for her. From the flag dealers, again, we talked about earlier, Division E2. Again, flag dealers will be kicking things off. On Saturdays, they take on the Trailer Park Boys for the Division E2 championship. Sorry? Yeah, for say kicking things off is the first game, same thing. Ali trying to correct me. Anyways, Eric, Eric Parsumian. I'm not tired. I know what I'm saying. And Eric Parsumian again, five dealers Division E2, 11 catches, 98 yards, five touchdowns. As his team kicks things off or starts the action on Saturday. Charlotte D. Petr, well, fit the hockey player. Alex D. Pietrantoni. Wow. Try it again. Charlotte D.P. Trantonio. D.P. Trantonio. Thank you. My apologies. Three sacks for Vodka Red Bull. We talked about them earlier in co-ed 4. Fred Bouteau, seven catches, 140 yards, four touchdown catches, one INT. Did he return for a pick six? This is for Division E1 with the underdogs. Clarence Michaud, 215 yards, five touchdown passes for Women's A with the Birds. Gabe Wiseman, so happy belated birthday to him. His birthday was this week. Two TDs on offense, five sacks on defense for the Shockers in Division D2. And that does it for the player spotlight for week 11. So you got week 11, you got week 12. You're all caught up on that. A few weeks ago, we started a poll. here, two different polls. The first one was for the fastest female player in FPF. So after all the players we went through, I believe there was 24 ladies in total. We've come down to the final. It was between Ashley Longin, so shout out to her, and Dakota Scott. Talked about both players earlier. Ashley Longin winning. Now, this vote was extremely tight. This is why we encourage you to get out there and vote. Ashley Longin won 51% of the vote to Dakota's 49. So I've seen both of these players play. They're friends of the pod. Fantastic people and extremely, extremely good players. Speed is the name of their game. Shout out to Ashley on getting the win here. So she's crowned the fastest female player here in FPF. And on the men's side, so we went with the men lower division, so D2 and lower. The finals were between uh, Leo Auger. So Leo Auger against Theo Midori. So again, Division D2 or lower, those were where those two players were playing, at least division wise. Theo from the Trailer Park Boys getting the win, 54% of the vote to 46 for Leo OJ. So Theo Midori is your fastest male player, pardon me, in Division D2 or lower. So shout out to Theo and shout out to Ashley on getting those coveted awards. I'm going to try to talk to Jeff and get something for you guys because I think, again, you guys won the fastest player votes for your respective sides, if you will. Thank you to everyone that came out to vote. Pardon me, I'm tired. This is something we wanted to do to get more player engagement and more fan engagement, not just in the podcast, but in just the social media community for FPS as a whole. So thank you guys for doing it. I know we said we're gonna have a men's fastest one for the higher division, so guys like Quaysie will be in there. We're gonna release that in the fall. I just want to give everyone the appropriate amount of time. I want to get some more names in there. Some names will be changing from this season to next. So we want to get some more names in there. So we're going to have the fastest player for the fall season. And speaking of the fall season, don't forget, registration is still open for the fall season. Go online, FlagPlusFootball.com to register yourself as an individual or to register your team. It's maybe a couple more days left for registration. So if you haven't done it already, don't wait. As soon as you finish watching this podcast, get out there and go register yourself. Again, FlagPlusFootball.com. Roadshow this weekend, finals weekend. The main man himself, Ali, will be producing everything. He'll be the man behind the screen, not just one screen, multiple screens on Saturday and Sunday. So come up to the booth and say what's up. Both Quaysie and I will be commentating games, a ton of games this weekend, 18 in total. So you have to start prepping and bang on some articles too. So yeah, come check us out if you want to come. Even if you want to say what's up, or maybe even come on as a halftime guest. I don't know, whatever you want to do. But come and check us out. There's going to be a lot of fun down in Broussard again, August 22nd, which is Saturday, and August 23rd, which is Sunday. The road show is our annual spectacular, amazing, super duper, gigantic performance for finals weekend in the winter and in the spring season. So come check it out. If you can't come down to Broussard, make sure you watch it on YouTube. All the games will be streamed live. So make sure to check it out. See your favorite players, your favorite teams, your favorite commentators, and check it out.
Sounds about right.
All right. This has been the final episode of the spring/summer season. Any take-home moments for you this year?
No. Just I appreciate everyone that's listening, watching. Again, if there's any ideas, right? If you guys have any ideas, let us know. We're here to try to make this better. If you guys also guest, if you guys listen to this and you want to be a guest, reach out to us. We would love to have you on. I feel like the more guests, the better. And that's about it.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, couldn't agree more. If you want to come on, please come on the show. It's funny. I made a lot of people to say they want to come on. Yeah, for sure. But then first comes just us. Some people are a little shy. Some people, it's timing or whatever. Come on the show. We'll chop it up. Like we always say, it's something you want to promote. Come on here and promote it. It's fun. Like when we have the guests on, listen, me and Quaysie talking to each other and talking to Ali Reza, who you're never going to see. It's great. It's fun. But it's more exciting when we have guests on the show. And you guys can come on here and just talk some ball, man. Chop it up. It's always fun. Ladies, gentlemen, come on the show. So fall season's coming up. Ideally, I'm pretty sure we're going to be back. So if you want to come on, like you said, Quaysie said, if you have ideas, feel free to pitch them to us. We will definitely listen because we want to make this more fun for you. We apologize. It's like a 3-hour episode. Wasn't supposed to be this long, but sit back and enjoy it. Get your popcorn out. Same thing for finals weekend. Like I said, Saturday and Sunday in Broussard. If you can't be there in person, check it out on YouTube. A lot of great work goes into it. And thank you guys this season, like Quaysie said, for tuning in. We would not be here without you guys. We'll see you next time.
Peace.